rock and roll. Rock and roll. Just needs to go back a bit. Like that. Yeah, and so we can have a proper discussion. Where is the right? Hupa nefta rumano no cheyu kawuna lol bihu. He did it easy, nothing exists except by way of him, the Most High, in the name of the All Bakalum. Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah anu alyoina alyoina. Nothing would exist except by way of anu alyoina alyoina. I bear witness that nothing would exist if it wasn't by way of anu alyoina alyoina, the Heavenly One, the Most High, the highest. Bakalum. Yeah, guys, tipping point is what we're going to talk about today. So let the family get here. I don't send messages out no more and notify people. Like, I feel like if we all get in alignment with each other, we'll be able to be in the right place at the right time. So I'm not going to like really tell people when I'm going live outside of my core group of people who I interact with on a daily basis. Other than that, I don't really care about how much people watch or anything like that. I do this as most of you know, I do this as I see it as a sense of duty, as a part of my purpose and the meaning that I give to my life. But today we're going to speak about the tipping point, how we've come to a tipping point, and I want guys to realize the significance of what we just went through with this extreme heat that we've seen globally. Yeah, so let the family get here. My recommended read is today Daughter of the Sun, okay, which is about the goddess Sekhmet. It looks like a beautiful book. I've not read it yet, but I know that it's packed. Yeah, because the Kendaka says this book, I know how it's got her. So definitely it's called Daughter of the Sun, a devotional anthology in honor of Sekhmet. And it's by Bibliotheca. Oh, that's a unique name. Bibliotheca Alexandrina. Beautiful book, man. Edited by Tina Georgitsis. Wow, beautiful names. But yeah, the book looks packed, so that's my recommended read for today. Daughter of the Sun, a devotional anthology in honor of Sekhmet. Yeah. It's a lot to talk about today, so I got two sides, and I've got it right here. I've got one side which I'm going to build up into this side. I got my phone plugged in the charger. I've got the airplane mode on, so we're not supposed to get interrupted by no calls or nothing. I've put the phone on silent, so you're not supposed to hear my phone going off when we're doing this. So I've took time to make sure we can have a deep discussion on the things I want to say here today. Shout out to the two guys who were tuned in. Shout out to whoever's already put a like on the family. Shout out to Celestial Samurai. But yeah, basically, I want to speak about a lot of different things wrapped up into the now as to why I've come to the realization that, hold on, this heat that we just seen going on in the planet, we've actually gone past the tipping point now. Like, yo, I know a lot of us have said since 2020 and the lockdown and stuff, we feel like we're in a different dimension. Like, things are not the same. It's not the same as it was before. And that's kind of obvious, but I feel like just the other day, what date was it? When England here was hotter than 99% of the world, and over in America was burning up, and over in Europe was burning up all over the place. Yo, this extreme heat, I feel like we've come to a tipping point. So let me backtrack. Two guys are tuned in, so we're just going to jump off and go forward. If anyone else comes late and they want to wind back, that's up to them, yeah? But let's go. I want to start with the Hollywood circus. I want to start here because all of us know that the main problem or the main thing not being spoken about right now, even above slavery and reparations and all that type of discussion, aliens and whatnot, is the simple fact of chrome culture, let's call it chrome culture, and the child sex trafficking that is being swept under the carpet so much. Sometimes we have to remind ourselves of that horror that's taking place right now underneath all our noses, with 8 million kids going missing. Is it 800,000 children going missing every year, from America to Europe to Africa to the Caribbean to India to wherever, here, England. You know what I'm saying? Like, yo. So I want to speak about how the Hollywood culture is really like, remember we had the discussion around the time I brought out COVID 1984, and we was pivoting on the word pharmakia in Latin, and how the word pharmakia in Latin in today's world has been broken into different compartments, when really, when we go back to the Latin, pharmakia was a whole kind of like, if not a philosophy, it was a kind of system that involved idolatry, witchcraft, sorcery, check this out, medicine. You understand? So these Muzungu people, these Hellenics, these Greco-Romans, their whole thing was to combine sorcery, witchcraft, idolatry, idol worship, idolatry, medicine, yeah, and um, I want to say acting, but entertainment, like acting, drama, plays, music, all of that type of stuff, Hollywood. All of that was combined into one under the word pharmakia. And it goes back to this Hellenic, I don't want to say culture. Let me just use the word culture with a C anyway. It goes back to the Hellenic culture, these people from hell, and how the way they were running their nation was like the leaders who were in control are so degenerate, and they so uncivilized and barbaric that they really had to trick their people to be able to continue to rule and to be able to get the best out of their resources or whatever. It's kind of like it's them against the people. So their leaders, they come up with this pharmakia thing to kind of like, they use the acting side, the Hollywood side, acting, music. It goes back to the Greek god Dionysus, yeah? What I've said before, Angelina Jolie, Brad Pitt, all of these people have been on record speaking about how they got a Dionysian view on life, which is saying they use this media. They in the Greek times, in the Hellenic culture, these leaders will perform plays and stuff and sing music and do acting and stuff and do all this media art kind of shit to distract the people, so that when you're looking at this media circus or this entertainment circus, yeah, they're not made it for you to be entertained. It's made to distract you from what they're really doing behind the scene to control your asses. So I wanted to start in Hollywood for people to take it back to pharmakia, to make people understand. Even though in our world today, like we've got like sorcery and witchcraft, which we see as magic, and then you got medicine, which you see as like medicine. You see, them things are separate in our world today, but they did that for a reason, because they don't want you to understand that, hold on, all of this shit is all together for them. The religious philosophy, the spirituality of it, everything. These people are not how they like you to believe. They just on a Jesus thing, or they don't believe in no God at all and no kind of religion or no kind of spirituality. This is how a lot of these Western nations portray themselves. Like England and America today are atheist nations. They're not Christian nations. They rather tell you can't take the Bible to school, you can't speak about religious kind of stuff. So even though they act like they're religious, they're really not. They've got a dark spirituality which is religious to them, which they have. That's their rites, that's their rituals. You see what I'm saying? So I'm saying, even though it looks like in our world that everything's split up, it's really not. It's all together under the Latin word pharmakia, which is magic. And this goes into, you see, I don't want to say the word, because you know how much censoring people have had going into that topic. You know what I'm talking about. Do you understand what I'm saying? But it goes into that, yeah, because even that, when you see them lock down the whole globe for how long, they was using all the parts of pharmakia. Like you had the medical aspect, you had the Hollywood aspect, because remember these Hollywood cats, they send them out to distract us. They might say, yo, Will, we're gonna make a movie with Will to distract people from what's really going on with all these protests and the child sex trafficking and whatever. We need these actors. It's part of the pharmakia. So all of these plants, these counterfeit people that are in Hollywood, most of them, I'm not going to say all, most of them we know, they're fake people, they're plants, they're industry plants, and yo, they're planted in high places to be able to influence society because they're charismatic or they're attractive or whatever the case may be. These Hollywood clowns, these are like the soldiers. These are all under the pharmakia thing. So they distract us, whether it's with a versus or it's with a Will Smith humiliation ritual, or whether it's a piece of comedy with Dave Chappelle where they say, oh, the LGBT have kicked off because he said this. Like, it's all staged. It's all for a certain reason. And that's why now we've reached a tipping point, because the earth ain't putting up with this shit no more. You understand? And so these Hollywood agents, we're supposed to celebrate them and give them so much of our attention. We're not really looking at the adrenochrome and the child sex trafficking. We are, but not as much as we're watching Versus, or we're concerning ourselves about Beyonce or who's Jada Pinkett's fucking or whatever. You understand? So it's a kind of Hegelian thing. These Hollywood agents, they're in on it. These actors, they're in on it. Some of them are ambassadors. Some of them, they transcend acting, like your George Clooney and your Angelina Jolie and these fucking ambassadors that they send all over the world, and they adopting black babies and all. It's all a fucking act. It's part of the pharmakia to keep us distracted. Yeah, where we celebrate these people, we worship. Some of us know these people better than our own families and our own ancestry. We know everything about these people. We don't know fuck all about ourselves. You know what I'm saying? So it's a distraction. So let's now start with, because I'm going to pivot around R. Kelly and show you why they're using R. Kelly in the way that they're using R. Kelly. And I don't condone R. Kelly. R. Kelly's a dickhead. Whether he rots in jail or whatever, I don't give a shit. But what I'm saying is there's an agenda as to why they're targeting him. You understand? And people like Bill Cosby. So I say, let's pivot first around Hugh Hefner to make a comparison. In the 90s, 50s, and 60s, and coming into the 70s, sex was liberated. Modern society was over-sexualized, over-stimulated, and they liberated sex from the religious view. Let me break it down further for you. When we speak about resets and we say, okay, Tartaria, and there was a reset, and then we say the flood in the Bible, and that was a reset, and then we point out certain times in society where there's been resets, like the Industrial Revolution, that was a reset. Do you understand? The internet and smartphones, that was a reset. But let me make something clear to you guys that I wanted to record, yeah? A lot of people talk about these resets, but Jadefre going to tell you this. There's great resets, big resets, and there's minor resets. The great resets is where nobody remembers shit from before that reset, like Tartaria, where they'll wipe out a whole entire previous free energy culture and shit that was going on and reset history totally. Like in the Bible, when they're giving you this flood story and stuff, that's a like total reset where there might be one or two people, but nobody really remembers how it was before this shit happened, before the reset. That's a great reset. Do you understand? And then in between these great resets, when the matrix starts crumbling, they have minor resets where they have to reset some minor shit. So like we'll say, okay, the printing press and the Industrial Revolution, 1700s, that's a fucking reset. Everything changes after that, but it's a minor reset. People still remember how the world was before the fucking 1700s, you understand? They still remember how it was in the 1600s or in the 1400s. They still have memory of tracking back to how the earth was. When it comes to a great reset, like 1850, with the Tartaria thing where they wiped out Tartaria from the history books, that's like a great reset. Because nobody don't remember, hold on, we already had electricity. Hold on, we already had free energy. We didn't even use electricity that much. Hold on, people were already Skyping and shit. We already had segways, cars, fucking flying trains and buses and cars. Yo, TV, the whole fucking shit. We already had it. But that reset, 1850, boom, that's, you can consider it a major reset. Do you see what I'm saying? So I say all that to say this. You can consider the last, well, not the last, but one of the more significant resets that occurred in the 20th century. So I'm talking about in the from the 1900s coming up to the year 2000, that particular 100-year period. Yeah, there was a lot of resets going on there too, but little ones. But even the little ones, because of how subtle these little changes are, they can have longer and more powerful effects than major resets, or just as significant as a major reset. Do you understand? So this one now, I'm pivoted on Hugh Hefner, because that reset was to do with liberating sex. Remember, we came out of World War One and Two, or resets. They're minor resets. You understand what I'm saying? You might even be able to argue and say, well, it's major reset. Yeah, but I'm just going to say they're minor resets. So let's go with World War Two. After World War Two, when World War Two started, what, 1914, 1917? Yeah. Oh, sorry, that's World War One. World War Two was more into 1940 fucking, let's say 43, go to 47, somewhere between there. World War fucking Two starts. Yeah. And so what I'm saying is, before World War Two, the world was controlled with religion. We didn't have a mass media and fucking music industry, Hollywood celebrities, where they're controlling us that way. That time, in that portion of the world was controlled through religion. Your fucking church and your mosque, your masjid, your fucking synagogue, whatever. Religion was the control. Oh, hell, God, fear, live right, get married, don't fucking be an adulterer. Don't, you understand what I'm saying? Religion was the main form of controlling societies. So when you get to World War II now, and they're coming out with all this new technology, well, even though we know it's not new, but it's like, okay, TV, radio, fucking, now what we're going to do with the TV, or we just show some petty little programs and stuff, but we're not going to show like no tits or no nakedness on TV, that vulgar stuff. They're still in this religious, they're controlling people with religion. TV's new. But now, track 20 years into this TV business and radio and stuff, they think, bastard, we can actually control people with this shit here. You understand? It does actually work. Because even though this is good, look how much people are tuning into this program here. Or the Queen's coronation. Yo, we need to use this as a mind control tool now. Yo, we need to reset shit. Fuck religion. Religion's going to be secondary and shit. The main way we're going to control people going forward is going to be through this digital. Yeah, and we're gonna build it up to the point where we've got a fucking computers and AI and fucking smart devices and Androids. They already had this plan, you understand? But now they're switching. Now this shit's gone from the religious thing, church and all that. They lost power. Now they doing it with the fucking, other than, because you know it's science too. Science and the new fucking enlightenment and fucking quantum and rare. All of this is took away from religion too. They controlling with this shit too. The Big Bang and the origin of the world and rare. These Mzungu Western scientists, right? And now also you have, yo, this technology, this is the new way. This is how we're going to bring in the new world order. So now that's a reset. And in that reset now, they're like, okay, we need to over-sexualize this society. The best way to do it is through TV, media. So what we're going to do, we're going to need to blow up people on TV, icons. So it's not even just like a movie star. An icon is bigger. An icon is a fucking icon. Like in music, a mogul. You can say like Dr. Dre is a mogul. After Dr. Dre, the whole West Coast trying to sound like Death Row Records. He's a mogul. Or fucking Suge Knight. He's a mogul. When he busts Death Row, all the West Coast want to be like Death Row. Or you could say Nas. Nas is a mogul. When he started rapping, the fucking 100 niggas sound like Nas now. Everybody want to be their own version of Nas. That's like a mogul. But so in Hollywood, you have like an icon. They've transcended the fucking screen. They're now a global fucking icon. We need to make some of these people based on sex. So going back to what I said, Hugh Hefner, he was like one of the most, we weren't the first, because they had other people they broke on this sex thing. What was the woman name who made the first porn and all of that shit there? But they broke stars, but this guy was the big fish. Okay, he's an icon now, playboy. And what I'm trying to say is this nigga was a scumbag, just like R. Kelly. This nigga sleeping with little girls, 15, 16, 17, all type of debauchery and all type of fucking wrong stuff. And they made him a star. You understand? They made a legacy out of this nigga. The same when you jump to Elvis Presley. This Elvis Presley nigga, who they've made such a big star and the king of fucking pop and rock. Yeah, fucking Elvis. Yo, how many thousand miles from Graceland? Yeah? And this Elvis nigga, Peace family, yeah? This Elvis nigga, he still has a massive estate and a fucking song catalog, and they play his shit and celebrate him, and niggas dress up like him. He even got his own fucking religion. And Elvis Presley met his wife Priscilla at something like 14. He used to wait outside of her school. This is a child. He used to wait outside of her school, pick her up from school, and that's his wife, a little fucking child, 14 years old. He married her, and he had children. Like I said, I'm not making excuses for R. Kelly. You hear what I'm saying? But how come they've never ripped down this Hugh Hefner geezer who was sexing up little girls and making it a whole culture, fucking normalizing it? Playboy Bunny and Rare, Playboy Mansion. This guy's a fucking icon. You understand? And they made him like the god of sex. And then Elvis, he's done this blatantly. He used to have not even just his wife, Priscilla. He used to have all these little 14-year-old and 15-year-old and 16-year-old girls around him. He's married one of them. He used to wait outside of school. Her name's Priscilla. Do you understand what I'm saying? But his legacy running for how fucking long? They've never did a surviving Hugh Hefner or a surviving fucking Elvis Presley. Do you understand? I'm building up to something. I know I've said this before. This is not the meat and potatoes. This is not the point I'm trying to make. I'm trying to build something here, yeah? So Bill Cosby the same, yeah? Bill Cosby, they tried to tear him down. The question is why? Why are they targeting R. Kelly? Why are they targeting Bill Cosby? Most people are going to say, oh, it's because they're black men. Because they're black men, yeah, which is true. Like, it's because they're black men. But that's not the only reason why they're targeting these dudes. Peace, Mahogany X, what's up? Yeah. It's more than the fact that they're just black men. The question is why? Some people say, oh, it's the Me Too. The Me Too movement with all this woman power feminist shit started heating up at the time when R. Kelly and them kind of man there was on the radar. I don't believe that. The timing's too fucking... R. Kelly and them been on the radar for many, many, many years. It's all a game, yes. It's all, like I said with Pharmakia, it's all a fucking game. But what I'm saying now, their game is over. So when the game is over, people are going to start switching on each other and throwing each other under the bus and pointing fingers. So don't lose sight of the fact that that's going on in Hollywood now. They know the game's over. Okay, whose fault is it? It's your fault. Yeah? So I might point at you and you might point at her. We're all blaming each other now. Do you see what I'm saying? So you're right. It is all a game. Yeah? But why are they targeting Bill Cosby and R. Kelly and not other people? Yeah? Why are they not targeting Snoop Dogg? He's black. Snoop Dogg been pissing on girls since the 90s. Yeah, I said it. I've been listening to Death Row Records, Snoop Dogg, Dr. Dre and shit. I came in on NWA. Yeah, 2 Live Crew, all of that shit. That was fucking us up as little young black men, where they was over-sectionalizing us with the music. So we had people, I know y'all niggas know about 2 Live Crew and Luke and all them niggas there. I was growing up, my mum catch me listening to that shit. I got smacked the shit out of. Why you got that on? Easy-E. Talking about pissing on bitches and shitting on girls and all this. Yo, you understand what I'm saying? Why didn't they target Snoop? Snoop's had shows in the 90s where he's pissed in girls' mouths. Yeah, stock for law, as a Muslim would say. He's pissed in girls' mouths. They ain't never came for Snoop Dogg. Is it because white people love dogs? And they say, yo, dogs, we just love dogs. This nigga is Snoop smart. And thought, bastard, let me call myself Snoop Doggy Dog. White folk love dogs so much. So long as I just always respect white women. And when I'm with black women, I just call them hoes and sluts and treat them like nothing. Even though I've been with my wife so long, I probably cheated on my wife 1,000 times with these white bitches and shit. Yeah, let me just play to them. And because I play to them and willingly give myself to them, they don't have to make an example out of me, Snoop Dogg. I can just be in the game shining. Do you understand? Because I'm like their puppy. I'm like their pet. They love dogs. Why didn't they go for Snoop? Snoop been doing this shit, man. Look how Snoop stood up to Gayle King like he want to smack her. Like I said, whatever you feel about Gayle King, that's a black woman. You understand? And he's ready to stand up to this black woman like, yo, he's ready to smack her or something. You ain't never seen him take this attitude to no Mzungu woman. He loved the Mzungu woman. Yo, when you see him pictured in his videos and that, he got a whole lot of them Katy Perry looking ass bitches in his video. He don't stand up to them. Why ain't they gone for Snoop? So it's not about, oh, it's just because he's a black man. That don't wash for me based on what I just said about Snoop. Did they upset someone? Bill Cosby, R. Kelly? I think that's what it is. Now, I can't say that's concrete and making excuses for any of them. I don't know these guys. As far as I'm concerned, whatever they did, they're going to pay for it. But what I'm saying, I'm using this to put my case forward. To say, okay, well, Bill Cosby says, I want a black channel. Whether he's a devil or he's a Satanist or whatever, it doesn't mean parts of him don't want to have something black. It doesn't mean he just accepts how Mzungu folk treat black folk. There still might be part of this devil that wants to fucking build his community. Yo, we can't just judge people, oh, this guy's a devil, so there's nothing good about him. This bitch is a devil, so there's nothing good about him. You understand? And you can't do it the other way around neither. Oh, this guy's good and he speaks knowledge, so there's nothing bad about him. Everything he does is good. He can do no wrong. You understand? We keep going on these two extremes. You understand? We got to understand some of these Hollywood stars, they do have stuff that they wanted to do since childhood and since, you understand? Say, yo, I want to have my own studio for black people or whatever. Don't get it twisted. Bill Cosby said, yo, I want to have a channel for black people. It was one of the big channels. He wanted to buy a cable channel and he's got the money and the business for it. They've built him up enough for him to be in a position of influence and everything where he can say, look, I want to buy a fucking channel for us black folk and do our own thing. Shit, man, we got to make something up about this nigga, you know, to make it just not happen. Whatever you got to do to just take this nigga down. He's got too big for his boots now. We didn't give him all that money for him to turn around one day and tell us, oh, I want something for myself, for black people, for me and mine. Yeah, so we're going to have to teach this Bill Cosby nigga a lesson. Even though he's one of ours, let's fuck his shit up. All of a sudden, these Muzungu bitches come out the woodwork like cockroaches. And I'm not saying he never did nothing to them. Some of them he probably did. Yo, when you're making money for Hollywood or you're making money for the record execs, they will give you anything you want. You can say, yo, I want Gandalf to fall out the fucking sky. I kid you not, some fucking genie or magician will turn up on your ass, pull up, and Gandalf will drop out the fucking sky. Because you making some money for these niggas. You making some fucking millions. Like, let's say, okay, Mike Tyson. This nigga made billions of fucking dollars fighting for these Muzungu. Billions of, you know what that means? There's certain movies and Hollywood studios and producers that don't make the money Tyson made for these motherfuckers. Do you understand what I'm saying? So when there's money involved, they'll be like, yo, you can have what you want. What you want? 12-year-old girls. Here, yo, go and get my man 100 12-year-old girls. The prettiest 12-year-old girls. I'm not saying Tyson did that. I'm just giving you an example. From all over the country. Get one from every fucking state. Get one every color. Get the black ones. Get the fucking white ones. Get the fucking mixed race one. R. Kelly wants some. We need to give it him, man. He's going on fucking tour. Best of both worlds. This nigga's bringing in like fucking 20 billion. This is how these Muzungu fucking talk. You understand? Soon as your ass goes into debt or you go against the grain, okay, Mr. R. Kelly, we got all the tapes, you know, all these fucking 12-year-olds we send you. Okay, Mr. Cosby, do you remember in such and such an incident when we gave you these fucking women? They all work for us, you know. So if you're not going to play ball, yeah, you want your black channel. And R. Kelly, his thing was, I believe, R. Kelly, he's got one of the biggest music catalogs in the world since Prince and fucking Michael Jackson. Are you fucking kidding me? R. Kelly has produced for every fucking artist, from Babyface to Beyonce to fucking Mariah Carey to he's on everybody's shit. His name gets put on everybody's fucking album. R. Kelly's name somewhere in there. You know how massive my man's catalogue was? And check this out. He was trying to get back his publishing rights. Like, hold on, I want my rights to my fucking catalogue. I've put in all this work. I'm going to be like Michael Jackson and Prince in the kind of fucking star he made for himself before all this shit started like heating up, because it was always happening. But they was able to, like I said, this nigga making some serious loops. So they was just brushing it. Every time, no, he never did it. No, sorry, no, he never did that. He's fucking clean. Yeah. Yo, this guy stopped making money. Yo, he did all of that shit, man. He married Aaliyah at 15. It was illegal. He did fucking this. He did fucking that. Let's take him down. This is how the shit works. You understand? So R. Kelly, to me, it seems like he got smart enough because this nigga ain't smart. Understand, R. Kelly can't read and he can't fucking write. And I'm not taking a slight at people who can't read or write, because this system teaches shit. And I myself didn't learn to read or write till I was 8 years old, believe it or not. There's a lot of people who go through life and they don't know how to read or write, even like Floyd Mayweather. He don't know how to read or write. It don't mean you're stupid, but it means if you're not smart, you're vulnerable to predators who want to manipulate you and take your money and fiddle your books and not pay your taxes and fucking lawyers and all of that shit. You understand what I'm saying? You got to be very wary about the kind of people you can trust now, because you can't read or write, and you are like, let's say you're 20 million up, and you can't even read or write. You can't even read the letter that the bank is sending to you. So now you're going to have to trust someone, whether it's in your family or your friends, to do this shit for you. They're going to have to handle this shit for you. So if that person's not really got your best interest at heart, it's very easy for them to say, you know what, Mr. Kelly, you made 4 million. And the nigga made 40 million. You understand? You made 4 million. That's a lot, you know. You can mold these niggas. Do you understand? They said at the time of my man's court case, yeah, they discovered when they hired other lawyers and shit. He said, hold on, Mr. Kelly, all your royalties are going to this lawyer, this Jewish lawyer. Like, how the fuck does that happen? You see what I'm saying here? all your royalties from your fucking songs. Do you know how much money that would be? We're talking about R. Kelly. They've been playing his shits all over this joint. You see what I'm saying? So his money ain't even going to him. That royalty money, that fucking big chunk of money is going to some Jewish lawyer named Greenberg or something. So they railroaded this nigga for money. He had people around him who didn't care about him. They didn't care that he was sleeping with 12-year-olds or 13-year-olds or how psychologically damaged this geezer was. Because I do believe he was doing all of that shit. Like I said, I'm not here to make excuses for my man. My man can rot in jail. But what I'm saying, it doesn't mean that like there's not another side to why they're doing this to that dude, because all of them niggas do this. We could go into Jay-Z and Dame Dash. They were best friends with R. Kelly. Jay-Z, the biggest nigga in hip-hop right now, with the shitlocks and that, this nigga had an album with R. Kelly, Best of Both Worlds. Go and draw the album up and look at the song titles, what the songs are called, and you'll shake your fucking head. Because they're literally talking about this shit in an album. Jay-Z's saying, yo, I got a young girl, she's so young, she's so young. They know how each other get down. And then when the heat came with R. Kelly, the one that really got heat stuck on him, was at that time when he was doing that Fiesta collabo with Jay-Z. No, Fiesta, no, and it kicked off so big around the world, this Fiesta song, that the record company says, yo, you two may as well do a fucking album together, man. That's gonna be massive. Best of Both Worlds, it will be a tour. You go around the world with this album. This shit is not light shit. This nigga don't sing rap and this nigga don't sing R&B. Yeah, so that has to be a money spinner for record labels to say, yeah, let's make an agreement and team them up and do this and send them around the world, because we definitely know it's gonna make such and such and such amount of money. They have to be definite on that shit, or that shit is not gonna fucking happen. So that shit went tits up, where they threw R. Kelly off the tour. They never stopped the tour. Jay-Z and them said, yo, we're not comfortable associating with my man no more. It's got a peak. It's making you look bad. Because niggas started getting at Jay-Z. Yo, you roll with this nigga here. It's not just a tour. You know this nigga. You and this nigga is like parring and shit. You know how this nigga get down. When he was beefing with Nas came out and said it. Yo, Jay-Z and them, of course they know how R. Kelly was doing. They was fucking buddied up with the nigga. Basically, you can go and pull up Nas saying this shit. You understand? So why haven't they taken down Jay-Z? Why haven't they taken down Snoop? Jay-Z, yeah, he took R. Kelly's leftovers because Aaliyah went from R. Kelly, all that trauma that R. Kelly caused her, married her when she was 15. She's a damaged girl. Why would you want his leftovers, knowing how he is with these young women and stuff? But now all of a sudden, a rumors is Jay-Z's dating Aaliyah. And then she gets passed from Jay-Z to fucking Dame Dash. And then Dame Dash is dating her at the time of her death. So she's been from R. Kelly to Jay-Z, who were buddies and who were doing this album together about young women and shit like that. Do you understand? And I want you to remember this as well. When we speak about R. Kelly and how he's guilty of what he did, that means everybody who was in his entourage is guilty. Because if I need some fucking weed, I'm not gonna be out here looking the weed for myself. If I'm a millionaire, I'm gonna have a plug and say, yo, go and look some weed for me. I'm running out of weed. I need X amount of Buddha. Somebody I've got on the payroll, they're going to fucking do it. So whether it's your director, whether it's the A&R, whether it's your producer, whether it's your boys, your circle who you grew up with and you keep them close and they roll with you, there's people in that fucking outfit in your entourage, your wife, the same one that's come on the documentary, oh, he did this to me and he did that to me. Yeah, but you was complicit. You run a dance academy for young girls. So all the prettiest young girls in fucking Chicago, they come to your dance academy. Their mums give them away. Yo, fucking, I want this girl to make it. I'm giving her away. I sign her away. You understand? For the pursuit of happiness, the American fucking dream. That half of our people are all, that's their religion. Do you understand? So there's mums and fathers willing to sign away their fucking daughters for any little piece of fame they can get. That fucking check, man. You understand what I'm saying? So I'm not excusing R. Kelly, but all of them people supposed to be in the cell with him or next to him on the same fucking landing or the same wing, yeah? Producers, all your boys who hang in your bodyguards, your fucking entourage, your wife, yeah? The parents of all these fucking children who was running up, throwing stones at the fucking window with a camera. Oh, we know you've got her in there. Like they waited for the camera to, you understand what I'm saying? It's all a fucking show. It's pharmakia. It's staged. And that's why I'm saying, okay, somebody paid a lot of money to go after R. Kelly. Somebody paid a lot of money to go after Bill Cosby. Somebody paid a lot of money to go after Michael Jackson. Michael Jackson is the only one, in my opinion, and you can agree with me or not, I don't think he did none of that shit. I really don't. But all the rest of them, Bill Cosby, R. Kelly, all of them niggas to me is guilty. Do you understand? But why are they not going for Snoop? Why are they not going for fucking Jay-Z? We know they went for Dame Dash differently because he tried to establish a black record industry, put it that way. Suge Knight, Dame Dash, Jay Prince. They got, Irv Gotti and Jay Prince. You know, Irv Gotti and Murder Inc. with Ja Rule and stuff. They came together, said, yo, one's on the West Coast, one's in the middle, Jay Prince, and the other two on the East Coast. We might as well start a network between us three and ship our own records and have our own fucking distribution. Yo, this is major. We're going to cut out these Muzungu, these middlemen, these Zionists and shit. Yeah? These Ashkenaz. And we're going to run our own thing. That's gangster. Jay-Z went and ratted them, man. Yo, these niggas is planning to run their own shit. He went and told Mr. Muzungu. Yeah? He was the Sambo nigga. They said, well done, Sambo. We're going to reward you. Let's deal with this. Suge Knight, life. In jail. Dame Dash, you ain't Dame Dash no more. All that shit you did with The Rock, you can't be in music ever again. Let's brush my man. Irv Gotti, Rico. Ja Rule, Irv Gotti, Murder Inc. Shut that shit the fuck down. Jay Prince, I don't know what he doing. Either he doing something right or he sold out. Because he's the only one out of that four that's still prowling with any kind of fucking status, and his name coming up in a lot of shit with this Larry Hoover shit. Drake, Kanye, organizing festivals, free Larry Hoover with, yo, you have to check what's going on. We at the tipping point, and it's because of all of this. This is built up to that heat that we seen the other day, and I'm going to tell you why. Bear with me. So yeah, that Surviving R. Kelly documentary, that should have been done for a whole lot of people. Surviving Jay-Z, for surviving fucking Dame Dash, surviving Hugh Hefner, some of these white people, surviving Elvis Presley, surviving Harvey Weinstein, surviving Epstein, surviving Ghislaine fucking Maxwell. How come we haven't seen them? Surviving the Pope and the fucking church, the Roman Catholic Church. We ain't seen these shits. Surviving Jada Pinkett Smith with her cradle snatching herself, where she's sleeping with these little vulnerable kids with mental issues, this August Alsina or whatever his name is. How the fuck ain't she fucking in jail? You see what I'm saying? And we letting this slide. We still plugging in. If she bring out a movie or whatever, half of us still go watch that shit. We're going to plug in. We're going to support the shit. What the fuck's going on here? Do you understand what I'm saying? What about all the people on Epstein's flight log? All these fucking Hollywood people on the flight log. Either they child traffickers or they drink the chrome. So how come none of these people have been pulled up? We know why. But I'm saying we supposed to question this in ourselves, so we stop supporting this shit, whether it's musically or fucking watching their movies and the whole fucking shit, the whole Hollywood. We need to be asking ourselves these serious questions here. Where's the children who were trafficked? Because all we heard is Ghislaine got locked up, Epstein killed himself. Okay, where's the children? Where are they? Are there survivors? Was there survivors on Epstein Island? Nobody's not asking this shit. People are still plugging in to watch fucking shows and shit, man. Netflix. You know what I'm saying? So these celebrities, I started here with Hollywood because they've been distracting us from the jump. They've never been on our side. It's bullshit. There's maybe a small percent of them that are people like me and you that made it into Hollywood and thought, bastard, this is weird. What the fuck is this? Is these people even fucking human? And either they go crazy, they go missing, they fucking get shot or murdered or some fuck, or they go jail and come out fucking all weird. This is a pattern, man. Yeah? And a lot of these celebrities don't age, or they just come out with this new look. They just switch up the look. Yeah, and hold on, she looks different. How the fuck does her face look all fat up or whatever the change is? Oh, it's just surgery. Yeah, she had plastic surgery. Oh, he had plastic surgery. Yeah, that's all it is. Oh, yeah, he just bleached himself out. Little Kim, yeah, she just made herself plastic. All them niggas is replaced to me. I've been telling people this shit for 10 years. It's going to make more sense now when I turn onto the second side of the page, but I still got a lot more to go here, so bear with me, guys. Guys, am I making sense or am I chatting shit? Let me know. I'm going to read a few of your comments in a minute. So, yeah, R. Kelly wife owned a dance academy, yeah? She's complicit. That black woman, the wife one. You understand? The older one. She's fucking complicit. She's probably his fucking handler. This is how this shit works. It's not just Gucci and his missus. This shit's been running for time. She probably his handle and she just comes on camera and acts dumb. And acts like he's the one who's fucking in control of her and he locks her in a room and he's locked all these women. I don't believe that side of the shit. Yeah, I believe he slept with women and he's arrogant and rare. But I believe that all that shit there was how they wanted it. Yeah? It suits the record company for R. Kelly to have a lot of young girls. Why? Because young girls buy music. All these young little impressionable girls that want to be a slut early from 12, and because this society is so over sexualized, by the time our daughters are turning 9, 10, 11, they're already thinking sex and stuff. They're already trying to show breast and sexualize themselves and all that type of shit. So these are the girls that buy records. They're the ones that fly to the concerts and that. It's not these grown-ass women. The grown-ass women know better. I ain't going to no fucking concert to jump around for my man. Obviously, some of them are, because some of us are just that daft. But the main bulk, that is where the money is in the fucking youths. The young little fucking girls who, oh, Miley Cyrus, oh, fucking Beyonce, oh, and they want to be like these fucking false counterfeit stars. So therefore, it makes sense, for the record company, they support R. Kelly being into these young women and we need a lot of these young women around. Look at the videos. Most of these hip hop videos and R&B videos, these women are underage, you know. Some of these women are 17, and man like Tupac and Brandy and them and fucking Monica, they sold it out. Because they came in the game like Brandy's like 17, but she's acting like a big woman. She's sexualized and looking and acting like a big fucking what? She's just a kid. Monica, when she came in, just one of these days and singing all this shit, that's a kid. She like 17. Yeah? And then you hear Tupac saying in that tune, all I need in this life is me and my girlfriend. And he says, 17 like Brandy, she just want to be down. So he's already saying, this is Tupac, rest in peace Pac, saying, yo, she's 17 and she wants to be down. She want to get down with me. This is a grown-ass man with grown-ass nuts and shit. And they talking about 17-year-old women and shit who hardly got hips yet. They hardly got tits yet. Why would you want that as a man? What kind of man does that? Like, look how beautiful our black women are when they reach their maturity. They fucking figure and they curves and why would you want like a child who ain't even fucking reached grown into a woman and shit? This is how they learned this from the Mzungu. They learned this from the Epstein and the Weinstein and the fucking Ghislaine Maxwell and her dad and whoever else was in. They learned this from Tom Hanks and the fucking Spielberg studios and all these. Yo, that's their culture. That's how they get down. So now they're part of this billionaire club. They feel compelled. Yo, I'm going to act like these Mzungu. Do you know how much of these rappers, our rappers that say they gangsters, gangster rappers, Meek Mill, Kodak Black, fucking whoever else, 21 Savage, and as soon as they get in trouble and go jail, you don't see no Nation of Islam round them and talking for them or nothing. You see, oh, Kodak Black's coming out of jail today, and in the pictures, there's 2 Mzungu with him. They're his handlers. They're from the record exec. They're there to represent the record company's interest. They own your ass. You're their fucking product. So these rappers have to stand up with these billionaire families, yeah? Imagine if one of these billionaire families, their child says, yo, I love Kodak Black. Dad, I want to take a picture with Kodak Black. I want to have him to have dinner with us. They might send an invite to you, Mr. Gangster Rapper, and say, yo, I want you to come and sit down with my family and have a meal with us. And some of these might be real freaky fucking Mzungu. And say, yo, I want you to give me head. I'm talking, yo, these niggas is gay and that. I want you to give me head or you're done. You're no longer Meek Mill. I'm not saying this happened to Meek Mill. I'm giving you an example. You're done. You need to give me head. I'm a billionaire. Yeah, you out here acting like you flossing and shit. You won't be nothing without me. You're literally my bitch. You have to do anything I say or you can go back to your life. These rappers is out here giving man head and stuff, allegedly, I'm going to say, because I know after this live, I might get fucking blocked for a bit. Because I know how this algorithm works. And when I get this passionate and I know this AI knows how to, yo, this is a serious message for him. So let's find some excuse to, but I'm not going to support that in the either. So hopefully that don't happen, yeah? But this is what I'm saying. This is what's going on out there. How come we don't have no light on this shit? And the reason why, like I said, no one's talking about it is because they love that paycheck. They are towing the line. All of them are involved. Whether you're talking to Jay-Z, the P. Diddy, who raped our Usher. Usher got Usher walking around with herpes and shit. Like, these niggas been doing this shit. Baby and Lil Wayne and what's that group called, that child group, Immature and Chris Cross and Jermaine Dupri and all these children that be getting abused and shit, man, on camera, and we just fucking out here partying and drinking and smoking like we can't see what the fuck's wrong with this bitch. And now Mother Earth is about to smack us. Yeah? All of them niggas is complicit. And when you're talking about R. Kelly, especially his fucking wife, they complicit, and the record company and shit, the whole crew. Yeah, the image, they built that image for him. We want you to have an image that is appealing to these young girls. They manufactured that brand to get that kind of hype and the sales and the influence that was behind that fucking avatar, R. Kelly. They created that shit. He didn't do it himself. So when they're ready to pull the plug on that shit, they've got all the dirt on your ass. They fuck your public image up. Do you understand? Them parents signing agreements, and if you're watching from America, the United States, yeah, my black family out there, y'all need to get away from this Hollywood shit. Because I'm telling you this right now, it's bad here in the UK because we literally worship America over here. We think we're little America. We're America's greatest ally. Yeah, we're the reason for America. So we do what the fuck we want to Europe. We'll stick a middle finger to France or whatever. We're Britain. We think we're little America, but America's America. Yeah, and America is built on this media shit. It's built on this fucking digital narrative and this false history and this whole false separatism where they keep the black man and black woman at fucking loggerheads, and they keep us as brothers at fucking loggerheads and sisters at fucking loggerheads. They need this shit. They need to have a Will Smith slapping a Chris Rock and shit. How come nobody got up there and slapped Ghislaine Maxwell or slapped the shit out of Weinstein or whoever the fuck? But we up there on the world fucking stage slapping the shit out of each other. Make that make sense? So in America and around the world, here in England too, that pursuit of happiness, you can't pursue happiness. Happiness is a fucking choice. It's not no destination. This Muzungu pursuit of happiness, let him fucking chase happiness. You understand, with his dumbass? You ain't got to chase shit. You chasing fucking shadows. You chasing the dragon. You ain't got to chase no fucking happiness. Happiness is a fucking choice. It's not somewhere you go, pack your bags, oh, I'm going to happiness. You know what I'm saying? It's a fucking destination. I want to be happy. Then fucking be happy. What's your problem? So they create the images. They give this false American dream. Yeah, that all men are equal. The pursuit of happiness. Fucking Muzungu bullshit. I give a fuck what you try. Oh, it's the Constitution and black people. Fuck all that. Black people wrote. That's a daft Constitution. Talking about pursuit of fucking happiness. My Constitution is my act. If I'm on Mars, my Constitution is my act. 42 laws. If I'm in fucking America, my Constitution is my act. If I'm in Kemet, my Constitution is my act. If I'm in the UK, my Constitution is my act. That's my culture. Rap is not my fucking culture. Hollywood is not my fucking culture. It's a part of my culture. Well, I've said that. Yo, we made rap. It's a part of my fucking culture. Yeah. But you can't give me, oh, the culture. That ain't the culture. The culture is fucking my act. Americans need to get off this pursuit of happiness bullshit and the fucking culture bullshit. That must be the culture with a C. My culture is with a K then, because that shit different. Yeah? So what I'm saying is all these people we've mentioned and the system, they're all fucking complicit, man. They're making an example out of R. Kelly and fucking, they tried it with Bill Cosby, that failed. And they tried it with Michael Jackson, that failed. The one with R. Kelly stuck. So they got 1 out of 3. Do you understand? But why are they targeting them guys? Why aren't they targeting other people? Why aren't they targeting Tom Hanks? Look how much shit was being said about Tom Hanks. How are they not fucking, okay, let's investigate this fool, Tom Hanks then. Yeah? Or like I said, another black person, how come they investigate Snoop? How come they investigate Jay-Z? How come they investigate Dame Dash? On that level for like sexing young women and shit, because they all do it. T.I., I don't give a fuck who it is. All of them niggas do this shit. They rape women, they fucking abuse children, all of it. The women do it to young boys, yeah? The fucking guys do it to young girls. The politicians do it to young girls and fucking boys. The royal families and the elite families, they do it to young girls and fucking boys. And we all out here talking about minor shit, yeah? We out here sat down talking about minor shit, ripping each other out, trolling each other. I'm a Hebrew, you're a Muslim, you're a this, you're a... Fuck all that, it don't matter. You understand? This is what the fuck matters. This is what's going on. We need to stand the fuck up and rebel. and be like, we're not supporting this shit no more. We're not going to cinemas. We're not buying no movies. We're not fucking supporting no sports. Yeah, it's that simple, but it seems like it's so hard to get all of us to agree. Let's just do it. Let's just fucking say, oh, we're not doing it no more. We don't need this shit. It's not making me live for me to go to the Grammys or the Soul Train or I'm not supporting none of that fucking shit. Because I'll tell you this, if you keep supporting it, you're fucking guilty by association. When the Anunnaki come here, don't reel off about you watch Jedefre and none of that shit. Because I'm going to say I never heard of this dude. I guarantee you. They're going to say, yo, Jedefre, this fuck up is down there using you, saying, yo, I watch Jedefre and I ride with Jedefre. I'm going to have to say, look at you in the face and say, I don't fucking know that dude. Sorry, pal. I'm fucked off. Yeah? So we got to get that shit straight and cut off certain things so we're not being tied to that vibration and we're not tying evil cords to these fuck-ups, these Draculas, these fucking gargoyles, demons and shit, man. It's really that fucking serious. Let me go on. R. Kelly is not an exception to the rule, yeah? He's not an exception, sorry. He's the fucking rule, meaning that they all get down like this in Hollywood. They pick who they going after based on various different fucking shit. This person ain't towing the line no more. Or this person don't want to be a Satanist no more. Or this person started speaking out, they can't fucking hack it or whatever. They start doing that. You understand what I'm saying? R. Kelly is not just the only one, man. Yeah, it's the whole Hollywood culture. Yeah, Jay-Z, Dame Dash, Gayle fucking King. Yeah, Snoop Dogg. Listen to this. On Snoop Dogg's set, yeah, with the East Siders, yeah, this is where Kobe Bryant, another sexual predator, I don't give a fuck what you think about bigging this nigga up. Oh, he died in a helicopter. People die every day. The nigga was a scumbag. You understand? He's cheating on his wife with sluts, prostitutes, fiddling with fuckers. And I don't care. Maybe he did try and change himself. But I'm fucking unapologetic right now trying to speak my message. So I'm calling out fucking Kobe Bryant too. Because he met his missus on Snoop Dogg, this big predator Snoop Dogg. We know this fucking Luciferian Snoop Dogg. Calvin Brodus, yeah, murder was the case. This same nigga we've been talking about, who made himself a dog, so white people love him, yeah. He had Vanessa Bryant on his East Siders set. These are like 40-year-old grown-ass men with fucking balls hanging with hair. And these niggas got 17-year-old girls in their gangster rap videos. These Vanessa Bryant, that's where Kobe met her, looking like a slut. They put the whole slut makeup on her 17-year-old ass cell, and she was out there in the fucking video, and Kobe said, yo, I just gotta have her. And he married her and had children with her. She was 17. These are kids they doing this with. They barely just making fucking adult. Do you understand? So all these people are the same. They complicit, man. Brandy was 17, like I said. Tupac was saying, admitted that on his track. Look at Monica, she is the same underage, came out like a big grown-ass woman. Hannah Montana, they had all the young girls plugging into her on Disney to the point where they just hit the kill switch, boom, and she just turned into a super slut. The harlot Jezebel herself, all these girls are plugged into her. Yeah, your Beyonce's, your everyone. It all serves a fucking purpose. You understand? All these little kids getting raped, like I said, with Usher, when he was underage boy and Diddy and them are sleeping with him. Yeah, even Kevin Hart and all of them. Baby, how he ran Cash Money, raping these little kids like Lil Wayne and shit. Yeah, Criss Cross being raped by Jermaine Dupri and whoever else, them fucking, what's his name, Marcus Houston and all them immature, that group immature. Yo, it's all the same. And like I said, women too, like Jada Pinkett Smith ain't the only one. She the one that got caught and that seemed to just don't give a shit. She don't care if it's out there. She on that fucking queer culture shit, man. Like, period. She out here looking like a queer and everything. And like I said, half of these stars get swapped out at some point where they ain't playing the ball no more. Because remember, this Jada Pinkett ain't the same Jada Pinkett who was running around as Tupac's little darling and shit. And running around and set it off and that. You can't tell me that's the same person. Yeah? That looked more like a fucking robot to me today. Like with the fucking talking about alopecia and all of this, how her hair falling. Oh, that looked like a whole different bitch. I'm sorry. That's not the same Jada that was running around for me. And most of these Hollywood stars that reach that level and get put on the spot, yo, are you going to take it or not? They get swapped out, man, because they can't afford to lose that star. They need that star in Hollywood. They carrying weight. Do you understand what I'm saying? So next I'm going to go to, I'm going to get off that Hollywood shit now. I'm done with that rant, guys. Yeah? Let me read a couple of these. Shout out to Empress Lotus, yeah? Shout out to Mahogany for telling me that we're making sense. That's right. As long as you're making money for them and stay in your place, they cool with you. But first time you step out of line and want to grow, they cut they cut they cut you off at the neck. Yeah, but also sometimes, like we said before, they will clone your ass and swap your consciousness and put your consciousness in a new sleeve. And the sleeve, they might give that sleeve cancer. So now they're gonna ask you the same question. Hold on, do you want to work with us, mate? Oh, I feel a bit weird and that. Yeah, we swapped your ass. Yeah, and we gave you cancer. So you actually gonna die in 4 years. So if you don't play ball, you're gonna die. And even if you play ball, you're still gonna fucking die. But when you die, we'll just put you in another fucking sleeve. Yeah, but if you don't play ball, we'll just let you die. So a lot of these stars are compromised. Like you say, they cut you off at the neck. They got many ways of doing that shit. Exactly, that's what I want to know, why they're not messing with Snoop. Because Snoop already sold his soul to the devil. Like, he's not one of these people who are guessing. This nigga's been in the Hollywood since the 90s and shit in the position he's in as a star. He's been to jail on murder, in court cases on murder charges and everything. So Snoop's already sold his soul to the devil. After this video, go and play the song "Murder Was the Case That They Gave Me" and listen to every lyric that him and the devil are saying to each other in that song "Murder Was the Case That They Gave Me." Because remember, that's not just a song. He wrote a book under his real name, Calvin Broadus, and says, called the book "Murder Was the Case That They Gave Me." And in that book, sister, he tells you, I sold my soul to the devil. He got shot. He was on the deathbed. And he puts it in the video when he's telling you murder was the case that they get. He was dying. And the devil meant to have said to him, bring your lifestyle to me, I'll make it better. But how long will I live? Eternal life, that's forever. How will I be the G that I was? I'll make your life even better. You can imagine, even dream more. So relax yourself. Let me take control. Close your eyes, my son. My eyes are closed. Murder. Do you understand what is being said? When we were kids, we just singing it, thinking it's cool. Yo, man, it was the case. I love fucking Snoop. He one of the famous rappers in the world, whether you like it or not. But there's agenda behind him. He already accepted Lucifer to be alive today. Lucifer made him Snoop, kind of like the DMX thing. But where DMX kind of turned back, like, fuck this, man. I'm going back to Jesus. Snoop Dogg ain't never went back to fucking Jesus. He telling you about the church and Snoop lying and he fucking having a laugh. He knows, yo, the devil is my buddy. I can own death row and shit. Niggas is dying, Tupac, Biggie, whoever the fuck else. I ain't never got fucking... I don't have to worry about that no more. Because I've given myself willingly to this fucking Baphomet Lucy. Same as P. Diddy. I've given myself to this fucking goat Lucy. So, yo, I'm going to ride till the wheels fall off. And I know a time's going to come when I die. But if I keep the devil sweet, it's going to be less of a fucking... Like, I'm not going to have to go out in a bang. The devil might be merciful enough to say, okay, you served me well, I'll let you die peacefully, rude boy. You was a soldier for me, yeah? Like, yo, they making contracts with the Lucifer. That's why the devil ain't gone for Snoop. This is what I'm trying to say. So I'm trying to say with R. Kelly and them, there must be something else other than the fact that, oh, he's black. It's because he's a black man. That's just one little piece of it, man. It's more to it than that shit. Believe me. And Ankare Sanaramun says it's all a game, and it fucking is. But when the game falls apart, niggas start blaming each other and playing that blame game and throwing each other under the fucking bus. And that's what we're seeing now, because they got that nature of the jinn. So they all falling out. Putin, Xi Jinping, Kim Jong, whoever the fuck, Biden, they all falling out. They throwing each other under the bus. Boris versus fucking Sunak versus, yo, these niggas is like throwing the dirt on each other, man. That's what time we're in. And this is when they're weak. This is why they got to fight. Yeah. But yeah, and remember all of this Hollywood shit with black stars, yeah. Before 2020, we never had so much focus on black movies, black stars, black people on Netflix, black news anchors, 5 and 6 black faces on TV at once. All this shit kicked in after George Floyd, which was May the 25th. I remember because my mum's birthday is May the 21st and my daughter's birthday is May the 16th. So I always remember George Floyd because it licked right around just after my mum's birthday, May the 25th, when I said, bastard, I got to write a book about this whole fucking lockdown, global racial shit, because it was a mad thing. Do you understand? So I remember the date of when that happened. And since then, it's like, there was like, yo, we got to appease black people, you know. Like how Malcolm says, they will never come with a solution. Like, you know what? It's really wrong what we're doing. And we need to fix this. They don't want to fix it. All they'll do is say, yo, we need to like make a little gesture, go on the TV, or let's get some like a movie, a black movie out, Black Panther, or let's get fucking 5 black people on BBC to talk about African hair, Afro hair. And those black asses over here in the UK, oh, wicked, yeah, we're getting accepted by Mzungu. We got a fucking show on BBC. Rather than we say, fuck BBC. We want to make our own shit. Don't show our shit. You never showed it before, don't fucking show it now. We'll do our own shit. We still want to worship these Mzungu. We still want to be accepted. A large part of us, we still celebrate them shits there. I don't put no likes on that shit. If I see that, I realize that there's a positive aspect of it, but the agenda behind it makes me can't support it. I know what it is. It's like this new film that they're bringing out now, The Woman King. And they're taking the story of the Amazonians or the Amazon warrior women, beautiful black sisters who had the warrior nature and was still feminine. They weren't no masculine fucking women. But they trying to show black women, they fucking angry, the angry black woman, and the woman, she looks like some buckwheat fucking, they picked the most buckwheat black woman that you could find, looking like fucking, who's that bitch, Tracy Chapman, some Tracy Chapman-ass looking black woman, yeah, let's put her. No disrespect to the sister, but they could have picked someone like Megan Good, or some fucking body like that. They did it with Wonder Woman. They ain't picked no buckwheat looking white woman for fucking Wonder Woman. Imagine if they said, okay, Wonder Woman, let's cast Susan Boyle. You know Susan Boyle? Let's cast her. We're going to make her Wonder Woman. And we're going to call Wonder Woman Wonder Man. She's a woman, but yo, Wonder Man. They don't do that to themselves. They do that to our dumbass, and we still gonna go and watch this Woman King shit, not knowing the distorted narrative that they put in behind it. They did it with Harriet Tubman. We still went and watch it. I can guarantee that loads of black people went to this Mzungu version of Harriet Tubman where she a fucking bisexual or whatever. In this Woman King business, these great black Amazonians, it was based on a true story. They made sure they slipped in the bit where these Amazonian black women is kissing up the Mzungu. Oh, yo, the Prince Charming, the Mzungu, fuck all these black men that we got here. These black men are shit. They weak, they demasculated, yeah? And the women are masculine, butch, buckwheat, angry, they running the shit. So now these men, these demasculated black men, they're not good enough for us. So now we got to go and kiss up the Mzungu and love the Mzungu, yo, and we'll go and support this shit. They don't do that. They ain't going to say, yo, the woman Caesar, yeah? And disrespect Caesars, their Caesars, by saying, yo, the woman Caesar, yeah? Or disrespect their own woman by saying, oh, she's like a man, yeah? They won't do that. They'll use Wonder Woman and tell you that girl that played Wonder Woman, she's FHM's beautifulest woman of the year, 2022. She's fucking, you understand? And we don't see what's wrong with them giving us these Harriet Tubmans and these fucking the Warrior fucking King movie and shit. I'm not going to see that bullshit. No Mzungu's going to set that distortion of narrative in my fucking shit. I don't need them to remind me about the greatness of my ancestors and the realness of it. And you understand, I already knew this shit, that Wonder Woman ain't real, rude boy. You should have made Nubia, the black Wonder Woman. If you would have did that, it'd have been better. You understand? That's how I see it. You understand? But you don't want to do that. Or when you do Captain Marvel, yeah, who's a black woman in the comics, you replace her with a white woman. Oh, this is the movies. Let's just snub the black woman, even though the comics have always been the black woman. And we're going to disappoint all the fans, even the Mzungu fans who know she's a black woman. Oh, hold on. Why have they switched her? They don't switch Superman. They don't switch Batman. They don't switch. No one's race, you know. But you know what? Captain Marvel, fuck that. We'll take out this black woman. We're going to put a white woman in. You understand? They do that shit to us, man. And we allow it because we roll with the punches. We deal with this misrepresentation. It's either misrepresentation or it's underrepresentation. Both are toxic for us. Both are dangerous because our children are looking at Mzungu for representation, or Arabs or Islam or Christianity, Europe, America, the culture. Like, because we don't have shit for ourselves and we've never filled in that void. We've just packed our children's bags. Hurry up, you're late for school. Oh, I can't wait to get these children to school. Boom, kick them into school. Oh yeah, I've got my 5 hours now. Yeah, we don't even spend time like replacing this void. Shout out to all the people who do. Most of us don't. I'm generalizing, yeah? So don't support none of that shit, man. It's all together. This is, you can use the word I said at the start, pharmakia. It's all fucking pharmakia. These distorted images that they're giving us of our ancestors and stuff to put it in movies as a kind gesture. Like, we supposed to celebrate this shit. We supposed to celebrate Black Panther when Black Panther's a fucking sellout. T'Challa is a fucking sellout. He worked for the US government. He a fucking agent. The hero of that movie is Killmonger. Fuck what you say. Fuck Black Panther. You understand? Fuck him. Fuck T'Challa. You understand? How about that? Them niggas there work for the agents. I ain't celebrating no Black Panther. Niggas is working with America to exploit their Wakanda. So their theme is, okay, we the Black Devil who working with fucking the Muzungu to exploit your shit, your lands. You understand what I'm saying? Giving us these distorted characters, the woman king, my ass. Fuck your woman king. You understand what I'm saying? Buckwheat head woman. Yeah? And so they trying to move us out of our center and so they can make us not realize that they're destroying and disrespecting our ancestors and trying to fucking tarnish our legacy. They do it all the time. Black History Month, they try and put it together with this gay shit, LGBT and all of that shit. We got all these masculine looking women that get forwarded on the screen, and they find the most attractive of their white women to push into the light. And they women can't even match our women. If you're talking about, let's get the most attractive black women, 10 of them. And let's get the most attractive white women, 10 of them. And let's get the most attractive fucking Asian women, 10 of them. And we're going to win all day. I don't care what no one says. And if you fucking, as a black man, disagree with me, you're a fucking liar. Or there's something wrong with you. How about that? Yeah? So they already know. But they getting the most, okay, let's get a black woman that's not attractive. Please don't get someone who looks like fucking, let me just call a name off my head, an attractive black woman. Come on, fucking help me out. Put a name on the fucking thing. Let's not get her. Let's get some buckwheat looking black woman. You understand what I'm saying? I was using Megan Good because to me, she a good looking black sister. Wherever the fuck she is inside, aesthetically, she a good looking woman. That's the first one that came to my head. Let's not get no one like her. Let's get someone who just looks like a fucking couch potato with a bit of fluff, yeah, and make her the fucking star. They doing this shit deliberately, man, and I'm not trying to disrespect none of the actors or nothing. I'm trying to make a fucking point. Do you understand? So they don't do that with Captain Marvel and the Phoenix and that. They forward their own. They don't have a, oh, the woman Caesar. They don't demasculate white men. White men demasculated themselves. They already on that. The most feminine men shit. Do you understand? They see black men as hyper masculine. That's the word I want you to get into your psyche. We, like myself, we're hyper masculine. When you read about the ancient Kushites, pardon me, and the ancient Cometians and the ancient Olmecs and stuff like, we're hyper masculine, meaning that we feel a sense of responsibility to provide a protection, to provide a source of comfort, to provide reassurance to our women and to our children, and to be problem solvers and to confront dangers and shit. They don't want us to be like that. So they attacking our hyper masculinity because they know we the most masculine man on the planet. You think Malcolm X didn't know, bastard, I might get shot up by these niggas doing what I'm doing, you know. But I'm so hyped on this shit. This is my responsibility. I'm willing to get fucking shot. I'm willing to die for this shit. You think Tupac didn't say that? Yo, I might get murked for this shit, you know. But this shit means so much what I'm saying. I'm gonna fucking die for this shit. Do you understand? We hyper masculine. You don't get much fucking Muzungu men like that these days no more. If you do, it's people in positions of power where they have an army or they have nuclear weapons. I'm talking about standard industry people like me, where we hyper masculine, that we don't have nuclear weapons. I ain't got 30 tanks. You understand? I don't have a fucking army behind me, but inside me I have a fucking army bigger than your army. Inside me I have a strength bigger than your fucking strength. Inside me I have a determination, a responsibility, a sense of duty, all that shit bigger than your fucking nuclear weapons or whatever. And that's what they're scared of, and that's why they attack us, the hyper masculine ones, and censor us. Do you understand? So it's misrepresentation, underrepresentation, and now that this fucking lockdown has exposed so much shit, or I should say the George Floyd psyop exposed so much built up tension in people, and I'm not just talking about black people, I'm talking about people who have just had enough of this racist bullshit. Yeah, white folk have had enough, black folk have had enough, there's folk in every fucking demographic that's had enough. And at that point, it just boiled. We're like, yo, we've all like the whole world kicked off on this shit, man. This is unfair. You fucking put the knees in the man's neck like that. It's bullshit. You understand? So they started appeasing us. All of a sudden, you started seeing loads of black people on TV, man. This is the first black senator. This woman is the first black woman. This here is the first time we've had 6 black people. BBC's running a show about black hair, afro hair. We're having this fucking thing on Netflix about, yo, they went wild with it. Yo, let's just put gestures, just race bait them, just appease. You had Joe Biden saying, yo, if you don't vote for me, you're not black. I love black people. You had Trump out here saying, yo, I've been doing business with black people since the 90s. I love black people. We was taking this bait. Yo, it's good for us, black people. We're so silly. We're like goldfish in a pond. Your memory just wipes. 5 minutes. You forgot all that George Floyd shit. You forgot all the shit they've done to us in a fucking 5 minutes. It's like a goldfish thing. And now we've seen all the candy being dangled in front of us. We feel included. We feel like a part. Yo, shit's changed. Slavery's done. We've come a long way. Yeah, we got a black president, Obama. Like, oh my God. Like, why am I here on earth, man, guys? Sometimes I really ask myself this. Why the fuck am I here? But for my family, and I mean soul family, not the family that I was given, the family that I chose. That's why I'm fucking here. You're right, I want to see R. Kelly and public announcement at 15 years old. You see what I'm saying, Empress Lotus? It baffles me how people are so submissive. It's a mad thing, yeah? Complete debauchery, yes. And yet, Satanism is their religion. Invirgin is the war. That word there that you said, Empress Lotus, invirgin. That's their fucking law. And they practice Enochian magic, yes, and Babylonian magic and word magic and fucking sex magic and all type of shit they shit branch up into. And this is what I'm calling pharmakia, just to label all of that fuck pharmakia in my book, COVID 1984. That's how I say I call all that shit pharmakia. Anyway, I've read through them. Let me go on, yeah. So a lot of money went into ripping down these people and to distorting our images and all of that type of shit. And there's a lot of black devils who are pushing this shit. It's not all coming from Muzungu. Like the black devils are pushing this shit, like these Tyler Perrys and fucking certain what's that other one who made the sunken place? What's it called? That fucking Get Out, and Us and all of that shit. They've got like people who are pushing this shit. I'm talking about black people. Do you understand? These dirty Moors, man. There's an agenda behind everything that happens in Hollywood. You understand? Remember Jada Pinkett was saying that she was the leading voice, or became the leading voice, even though she didn't start it. She became the leading voice calling to boycott the Oscars, talking about it don't represent no one but white folk, about black people. Yeah, there need to be more black people in the fucking Oscars. Let's boycott it. That shit caught fire till people was like, yeah, fuck the Oscars. We're boycotting that bullshit. So they wanted to embarrass her. Okay, bitch, we want to cancel you. We can't cancel you unless we cancel your big ass, big headed, square head fucking husband, Will. We got dirt on him. We're gonna fuck you up through him. Yeah, Chris Rock, he was calling for equal opportunities in Hollywood. He's saying, yeah, for real, let's boycott the Oscars because black people don't have the same opportunities as white fucking folk. It's harder for us to get roles in movies and shit. We get like, yo, scraps. You understand? So yeah, I agree. Let's boycott the Oscars. So they wanted to teach his big mouth ass a lesson with his 1,000 fucking teeth. Yo, we're gonna teach him a lesson. He needs to slap them teeth out his mouth. So they used these three. Yeah, I think Jada was supposed to host the Oscars and she pulled out saying she's gonna boycott. So they gave Chris Rock the fucking job. Yo, you host the Oscars because they setting up this chess match. They moving the pieces. Okay, so what we're gonna do? Yeah, okay, Jada, thanks. You gave us an opportunity. Your husband's already in MK Ultra, so we're gonna use him. We're gonna mind control him. That if this Chris Rock makes any jokes about Jada or Will's gonna react, and we're gonna trigger him. Manchurian candidate. Bye. And we're gonna repeat something that we've done before, just to make you see that it's really a mind control thing. Do you understand? So they hit the trigger and embarrass all three of them. One lick. This is how Goat Lucy works. You better fix the fuck up, you three. Yeah. Otherwise, I'm gonna tear your ass the fuck down and replace your ass with some fucker else. Yeah. We'll make a new Will Smith. Fuck you. Yeah. We'll make a new Jada. Fuck you. You ain't even got hair left. Fucking behave. Yeah, you, Chris Rock, close your big ass fucking mouth talking about you want equal opportunities and reparations and shit. Shut the fuck up. You've been humiliated. Don't let this shit happen again. This is how Goat Lucy works. You understand? I'm telling you. It's not just as simple as people think, oh, it's just a setup. There's more to it than that. There's more to it than R. Kelly. There's more to it to the Bill Cosby thing. You understand? But we on some goldfish shit. So we don't really get certain things like the significance of misrepresentation and underrepresentation and distorted narrative and subliminal suggestion. And we really don't fucking get it. It's just a bunch of words. We don't see the disrespect a lot of the times that we ourselves are doing our ancestors by playing along with this shit and by rolling with the punches of this shit. Now, are you a fucking gonna allow this to make you or break you? Because I'm telling you, we're in tipping point, and this is gonna make some people what the earth's about to go through, and this is gonna break a lot of fucking people, the majority. You've really got to decide right now, bastard, with all this shit going on around me, am I gonna allow this shit to make me or break me? Because it's gonna do either or. Yeah, you can't have both. You're either gonna get made through this shit and come into the realization of the oneness of all things and the power of yourself, the sovereignty of yourself, or you're gonna get broken through this tribulation and this fucking great reset and this fucking digital currency and climate change and the fucking heat and viruses and you're gonna fall at one of them hurdles, bro. You either gonna put on the armor of God or not. A lot of people are faking it to make it right now. They faking the woke thing, they faking status, they faking a whole bunch of shit. The mask is gone back on now. You understand now? The lockdown's done and you think the mask has come off. No, people have put back on their mask pretending it's shit. You understand? People pleasing and saying what they want, they think people want to hear and shit. Like I said, don't go watch that fucking movie, man. That Woman King shit. That's some demasculation, LGBTQ supporting gender fluid bullshit, transgender fucking subliminal shit. Fuck that. Yeah, and it's also an attack on black hyper masculinity. All the men in that movie, they tying up, they looking like some weak ass fucking, like that sperm never had no fucking tail or something. Don't watch this shit. Yeah. And look at the game. He's someone who's brash as well, hyper masculine, outspoken, speaks out against Jay-Z, against the industry. 50, just he's reckless. Yeah. Look what they did to him. He went on that show. He squeezed. They sent one of them hottie harlots onto his ting. Yeah. She come in the tightest little dress or whatever. He end up grope her, squeeze her ass or whatever. Yo, the nigga owes her 7 million. The nigga's probably bankrupt after that. He's finished. But this is what I'm saying. It's an attack on the hyper masculinity. It's an attack on those of us who move people in a certain different way. Even if we don't agree with that character, like Game's a dickhead, but they don't like that part of him. That's because it makes he's still keeping that rough gang. They don't want that. They want this fucking queer culture shit. You understand? You really got to ask yourself right now, as people, black people, am I like subliminally worshipping the image of the beast? A lot of us do. Like I said, we don't take what Jadefre says or what people like me says or what other black people say. We only take this shit serious if white folk say it. So if white folk came on the news and said this shit to you in a documentary or something, most motherfuckers would believe it. Yo, this was on TV, you know. Did you see it? Surviving R. Kelly or whatever. But if I try and give a live or whatever, and you try and tell most black people, they look at you with that fluoride thing. Like, why do you think you've got the right to speak about this religion or history or race? Or like, they don't want to hear it from you. It's not that you're wrong. Your family don't want to listen to you. Your circle, they don't want to listen to you. People have got certain things they might not even like about your ass. So they just don't want to hear shit from you. They don't care how right you are. And a lot of us black people, we feel like that. Even for the stupidest little things. Well, this guy Jadefre swears, so I don't want to hear nothing what he says. This guy Jadefre, he don't believe in Yehoshua Washi. So he's not fucking Hebrew. So I don't want to buy none of his books. Like, we stupid. You understand what I'm saying? We are fucking stupid. Yeah, we still suffering that psychological trauma. We still got this Stockholm syndrome where, yo, I'm not listening to Jadefre, but I'll listen to the news, the Tamahu, or I'll listen to the Quran, what the Arab said about God or whatever, or I'll listen to the Pope, what he says, or I'll listen to the Hindus and what they say about chakras and mandalas and fucking shamans and spirituality, prana. Prana's not even our fucking word. In our language, we say Shechem. We don't use the word prana. Breathing in this good ass prana, you a fucking Hindu. You don't even study your own shit and want to get back to our own words. I don't say no namaste. I'm not no fucking Hindu. I say namastu. They took that shit from me. I'm the fucking black god. I'm actualizing that shit. Do you understand? But we want to be out here on this fucking vague stuff. Anyway, psychological trauma, like I said, there's still a lot of Stockholm syndrome because there's a lot of Mzungu sympathy. Sometimes if you say something about Mzungu, black person will go, oh yeah, but it's not all of them. We already know that. We know all black people ain't good. So if we talk about white people, why do you think we're talking about all of them? Do you understand what I'm saying? Oh yeah, they're not all bad, you know. They start making excuses. They feel bad if you talk about these Mzungu, because these niggas worship Mzungu. They still subliminally like, yo, have this Stockholm syndrome. They like that fucking house nigga on, why are you talking about the master like that? He feeds us good food. You should be happy. There's them niggas fucking descendants is here now, making fucking excuses for the Mzungus and shit, man. Fucking Sambo's great grand fucking sons and shit. A lot of people are still worshipping the image of the beast in that way. They got sympathy for the Mzungu, man. And I'm not saying like you can't have sympathy. I'm talking about the wrong type of sympathy, where they always trying to make excuses every time they hear something bad about the Mzungu. Like they trying to save the Mzungu with their ass. You might as well go with them. You know what I mean? It's psychological trauma. There's still the Willie Lynch going on. There's still Stockholm syndrome going on. Do you understand? There's still so much Mzungu sympathy and inclusion, feeling like we can't just speak about us, getting us black people out the fucking rut. Everybody has to hijack it. Oh, it's not just black lives that matter. All lives matter. Yeah, but we getting licked down out here. I'm sorry, but I don't see the same demographics of fucking Mzungu or Asians getting licked down like we are. That's not to say there's no Mzungu out there that's getting licked down. Of course there is. And there's Asians and different races, of course. But it's not fucking relentless, perpetual like it's been on Earth for the last 500 years and they've fucking speeded it up now. You understand? But as soon as we start, oh, we got to preserve black people, all people got to be preserved. Oh, black lives matter, all lives matter. Even white people lives matter, even police lives matter, politicians lives matter. For fuck's sake. You can't even have a moment to think about self-preservation without some daft cunt jumping on the thing. And more time it's a black white supremacist, which is worse than the fucking white supremacists. They the ones making all the excuses, trying to make you feel bad for having a bit of race pride. We ain't been allowed to like our hair for 500 years. We've been told this shit's burnt, we've been burnt, the curse of Ham. You understand? All of this fucking shit. Black women are ugly, we got big lips, black women ain't got no hair. Look at them, laugh at them, fucking ridicule them, gollywogs, the whole fucking shit. Now we get to a stage where we can say, yo, we're beautiful. And we got to reverse all of this shit. People got a problem with that. They say, how come, Jalefre, you never post white women? Why does it make you angry that I don't post white women? My missus is black. Yeah, I've been with white women before, but even then I used to post black women and tell people, yo, I'm not settling with no Mzungu, you know. I'm going through some things. I'm going to be with a black woman. I celebrate the beauty of them. I love them. I even tell my missus now how I love celebrating black women. It don't mean I'm fucking looking at every picture, fucking drooling at the mouth. No, but I realize the importance of giving that beauty a stage. To say, yo, that's beautiful to me. That's important to me that my children see me celebrating that shit. Yeah, and that the sisters see me celebrating shit so they can more, you understand? It's important. I'm not saying we should go out there and just be supporting all this debauchery and gal that just want to show ass and all that. But at the same time, yo, you're supposed to be pushing our own narrative of beauty and not no FHM shit. You understand what I'm saying? Or no Hollywood fucking standard. Our own fucking standard of it. You understand? A lot of us still worship the image of the beast. We black supremacists. We still want like the lightest black woman. We don't want a dark-skinned black woman, a really chocolate dark black woman and that. We don't like them. We don't want to post them. I fucking do. I love a dark chocolate fucking black sister. Yeah? We got so ashamed of saying we black. We don't even want to say we black no more. Oh, I'm not black. I'm fucking black, bro. I'm from the cosmos, from the nothingness, from the eternal none. That's where I come from, as a child of the fucking blackness. Yeah, the black matter is black. Do you understand? That's where my origin is. So whether I'm brown in the melanin or copper or fucking whatever word you want to put it, nigga, I'm black. through the word Kem, which means black, or the word Kush, which means black. And that's going on, that's on my ancestors. Whatever you guys want to do in America now and say you're Indian and whatever, and who these people, they say they Moors, and these people, they say they Hebrew Israelites. I'm just blinking like, y'all niggas is anything you want to fucking say. Yeah, I'm fucking Gandalf, bro. But I'm black. That's all I care about. You can say whatever the fuck you want. I'm from the cosmos. I'm from the nothingness. I don't even have a fucking body. I'm not this body. This body is what I'm using. You understand what I'm saying? So you can see it how you want. This is how I see it. Yeah. But we so ashamed of it, we don't even want a real black girl. We want half a black girl or mixed race. Oh yeah, she's black, but she's mixed with this. She's black, but she's mixed with this. Nah, she can just be black and still be beautiful. Yes, black, the word black. And I'm not talking the English twisted. I am not fucking English. So whatever that word means in English, legal term, I don't give a shit. That's not me. I said the word kush in the Medunetta. To me, that means the same color as out there if I take away the stars. Kush. Yeah, strong black. And it's immortal, it's balanced, it's harmonious, it's pioneering, it's the origin, it's infinite, night black. Infinite, it's eternal, it's pure, it's just, it's creative. All them words, fuck their dictionary and whatever it means in English, that's fucking them. You understand? So if I got to take out the word black and just say kush, that's what I mean. But you know what color I mean? I mean that color there. When I take away the stars and everything, what's left, that's what I'm from. So we got black supremacism now. And like I said, that's worse than white supremacism. Black supremacists are the ones making all the excuses and keeping the division. And everything they do actually supports white racism supremacy. They don't really support like what we do here with writing books and doing lives, and they'll find an excuse with it. But they'll quickly support something. Yeah, I'm a fucking Indian. We're not black. Okay, so you support white racism supremacy just purely on that fact. Because now you're separating you from me and from everybody else. Just based on stupid little words. Oh, you said you're black, so I'm not with you. I'm Indian. Yeah, I can still be with you. You can call yourself fucking Voldemort. You can call yourself Van Damme. You can call yourself the Mighty Four. I don't give a fuck what you call yourself. We in the same war. We got the same enemy. So we can even talk about that later when this enemy's gone, and we can sit down and have a nice little heart to heart and chat. But for now, I care not what your doctrine is or what God you believe in or what you class yourself as long as you know that I'm an original man. I'm indigenous, I'm a melanite with melanin, and so I'm standing with all the melanated people on the planet, and further I stand with all oppressed people on the planet, even people who don't have melanin. That's how the fuck I'm getting down to get through what the fuck's going on Earth, yeah? So like I said, beware of these fucking black white supremacists, yeah? They carry slavery trauma, and a lot of them are dirty Moors. Yeah, and let me make this point too, because I was meant to go in on this live about jungle fever. When we're speaking about all this racism shit, the white woman plays a bigger part than most of us will give her credit for. We'll sit here and speak about white men and all the badness that white men have done to the world, colonizing and shit. But let me tell you something. If you go back and study slavery, it was the fucking women who was worse than the fucking men. The women killed more fucking slaves than the white slave man. If you had a white woman slave master, you look into dead at 30 or 40 or whatever after she's sexually abused your ass with all her fetishes that she has and that. So they carrying a fucking trauma too, these white women. Because remember, they ain't never had no fucking power over the white man. They had to fucking kill themselves, throw themselves in front of horses to have the right to vote and shit. They say Greece was a democracy. Women couldn't even vote in Greece. They couldn't even own property. They couldn't even have the right to divorce. They didn't have no fucking rights. You understand? All the way up to the 19th century, where they threw themselves in front of racehorses to make the point, oh, we want women's rights. Yeah, these white fucking women. Yeah? So they carrying a lot of trauma because they've never had fucking rights either. So they have a fetish of being with a black man. Because if I'm with a black man now, I have whiteness over him. So now this is my first real touch of power, of like, yo, I'm in a position over you, because women are held down, but as a white woman, I'm over a fucking slave. I'm over a black man. Yeah, even though I love the black man, look at his muscles, look at his fucking shining skin. yo, he's got a big weapon. I fucking fantasize on these black men, but I hate the fuckers. I'm gonna take out all my fucking resentment that I have on the white man and how he's made me not have no power. I'm gonna have power over this black man. And I'm gonna fucking zone him out. He's going in the sunken place. These white slave master women, they used to kill their slaves. They used to fucking torture them, and they couldn't go court for it. Like you can't, you were allowed to kill your slaves. So like I'm saying, the white women, they would kill more slaves than the white men. You understand? They could just kill slaves with no fucking consequence. It's a slave. It's not even a human. It's a 3/5 human being. It's chattel. It's like a fucking box or something. So they was killing niggas left, right, and center, man. And they was arming white citizens with guns after they did their indentured labor servants as indentured servants after their time was done. Let's say they did it for 8 years. Here's a nice payoff, and here's guns. So you can go and harass the shit out of all these black people and stuff. Because now that we're giving them freedom, we want you to harass them. So they've been playing off us against each other all the time based off this race shit. Do you understand what I'm saying? And a lot of people now are still carrying it. This black people carrying it with these black white supremacists out here. Some of them unknowingly. They don't even know that they supporting this shit. But they so programmed in this system that they actually support white supremacy without knowing. And then you got the dirty Moors, them that do it blatantly. They don't give a shit about your black ass. They know who the fuck they are and what they working for. Yeah? And then you got white supremacists, the Mzungu, the pale face. He on your ass too. Do you understand? So you got to be very careful right now. But what I'm saying is the white women, they was worse than the white man. And they're not no change now. This is why a lot of these brothers who are carrying this trauma also from slavery of hating their own, they're still in that self-hate. So you get a lot of them saying, oh, I don't find black women attractive, which is, there's something wrong psychologically with you. You've took in this Disney. Maybe you watched a lot of Disney and you fell in love with Dorothy or something. You know what I'm saying? Because something's wrong. Yeah, but you get a lot of them saying that I don't date fucking black women, and you get a lot of sisters nowadays more and more saying that too. I don't date black men, especially here in the UK. I don't know how it is in the US. I know Serena, whatever that is with this fucking plastic husband, this Mzungu husband that they've given her. She looked like she'll break the dude. Yeah, but fucking whether it's a he or she, it looks like it'll break him. Yeah, but what I'm saying over here, there's loads of women, black and mixed race. Oh, I'm only into the pink, you know, like the Mzungu. I'm not into black men because of this or because of that. Or black men are players, or black men are chains. And they just not into blackness. So you get a lot of people who are still carrying this trauma. Yeah, we spoke about this before. I think it was on the feminism live, yeah. You get a lot of that. But the white women today, a white woman in today's society, there still is a trade-off for her. She's got like a sense of importance. She's got a sense of inclusion. She's got a sense of control over a man. Whereas in her genetics, their white Mzungu cave culture, they ain't never had no control over men. They in a patriarchal thing where the men run shit. It's not like Africa where it's in ancient times where it's matriarchal and we still geared to have that nice caring, even with our hyper masculinity. If we're not ruined by the West, because we got some dickhead black men that have just been ruined, and they just wrong. They abusive. They violent. They don't have empathy. I'm not talking about them. I'm talking about people like me. Do you understand what I'm saying? Yeah. So let's make that difference there. But yeah, so the white women would love someone like me that would show them love, that would put them on a pedestal, that would take them to Caribbean Carnival. You can have a little mixed race child, now I'm included. Oh, I'm not a racist because my child is half, the dad's black. And I'm not saying there's nothing wrong. Some of them women, they are beautiful women just as any other women. But the majority of them, that's an agenda thing. You understand? 90% of that shit, that's an agenda thing, rude boy. Do you understand? It's a fucking fetish. It's a psychological thing. Do you understand? And even some of them, you will hear them say, oh, I don't date white men. I only date black men or Asian men. They don't fuck with white men. You understand? So white men have to do more to get. That's why Hollywood have to push them like that. Brad Pitt. You get man, the fucking thing. Yo, fling their hair and all of that shit. Yeah, pump him up, put him on a course of steroids, get some plastic implant tits for him. Yeah? Rambo and them niggas like 5 foot. The fuck you talking about? 5 foot. Sylvester Stallone and shit, man. Yo, I seen them niggas, man. I know, yo. So they hype it up even with the white women. They keep pushing these white women. Scarlett Johansson, Scarlett Johansson, Scarlett. She ain't even got no hips, no tits, no nothing, no curves, no nothing. She just probably got a pretty face. That's it. Oh, Scarlett Johansson, Scarlett Johansson, Scarlett Johansson. You understand what I'm saying? They pushing these shit because they have to do the most. We don't have to do that. They get one glimpse of one of our kind of sisters. They're like, fuck me. A Kelly Rowland or whoever the fuck. Yo, have you seen her? You understand what I'm saying? It's a mad thing. Yeah, but yeah, that's what white women get out of having this interracial thing with black men. It's a fetish thing, and I'm telling you, and it's because of the solar cycle. Remember what I said before, how your DNA controls you. You don't control your DNA. So their DNA knows, bastard, this planet about to heat up and burn us the fuck out. And if we got any sense, we gonna have to mate with somebody who's built the technology. They got the technology to get through this cycle. Because we ain't gonna make it. Remember I told y'all niggas 2 years ago, the contract is finished. Genetically speaking, the cosmic contract is finished. And Mother Nature is not supporting it no more. So now she gonna melt out the whole fucking grid. Just like Tartaria days, I'm melting this shit out. The Vatican, the fucking White House, Capitol fucking Hill, all of these places is catching fire right now. Fucking hell. Because Buckingham Palace, the whole shit, I'm gonna fry it out. Because I've had enough of this 6,000-year-old bullshit, this deception going on Earth. And I warned the Earthlings that this is gonna happen. Because y'all are self-fulfilling prophecy. So you just, even though you have the chance to change the shit, the collective is not going to get together and change. Fuck all. This thing's going to play out just like how I told you. You understand what I'm saying? Yeah, man. So it's all of this is caused the planet to reach the tipping point where we've reached today. All of this was going on. The scamdemic, the George Floyd racial shit all over the place. The adrenochrome, fucking child sex trafficking going on. War, threat of World War III, global fucking wars, fucking planet heating up that they trying to title as climate change. You understand? Fucking new viruses coming out left, right, and fucking center. You understand? Aliens, UFOs, fucking just everywhere. People seeing these crafts and these unexplained fucking beings and shit. CERN doing all of this reckless shit, opening portals. There's signs all up in this motherfucker. The sky everywhere. All these prophecies is fucking lining up and coming true. I can keep going on and on. And it's so much shit around us. And we still just, in this fucking, in this little bubble. So we're going to go into this sun cycle shit for real. I just wanted to give you like this type of shit before I go into that kind of stuff. We're going to be here for at least another hour, guys. So if you ain't got time now, you might want to come back later, because I'm not going to stop. I got the phone in the charger. Like, I set myself to do this. Do you understand? I'll make sure I'm going to finish it through. So guys, if you have to grab a cup of water, grab a cup of water. I'm going to make another spliff soon when I get to the end of this page and flip it over. Yeah. So the recap, hypermasculinity, they're scared of in black people, because black men, we still have that sense of duty to provide for our community more than the next man. So even though Cosby may have fucked up on a whole bunch of shit, there's still a part of him that wanted to, I want to buy a channel for black people, and we have it for ourselves. You understand? I really want to fucking do that. Yet people like Michael Jackson, who outsmarted him, who bought all the catalogs. He bought Elvis's catalog. He bought Eminem, dissed him on a video, made fun of Michael Jackson. He was taking the piss out of everyone. Michael Jackson, a smart dude. He just bought Eminem's catalog before Eminem was even that big. Now Michael Jackson owned all his fucking music. He buy the Beatles fucking catalog. You know how big these catalogs are. He buy half of Sony Records. So every artist signed to Sony Records, Michael Jackson's eating off all of them. Lady Gaga, the Beyoncés, the whoever the fuck else, they his artists. Do you understand? He beat them. And they were so angry that he beat them, they went for man. He's a pedophile, he's fucking free, he sleep with these kids, ran, fabricated the whole shit. And you don't see no Muzungu coming to defending Michael Jackson. Who came and defending black people? Nation of Islam. He rocking up to the fucking courthouse with the Nation of Islam. You ain't seen these rappers going to their court cases with no Nation of Islam. I ain't seen Meek Mill or Rick Ross or Snoop Dogg or none of these niggas turning up with no Nation of Islam or no fucking other black organization, like let's say the fucking Gangster Disciples or the Nuwabians or whoever. Yo, they turning up with Tamahoos and record execs and shit. At least Michael Jackson turned up at the court with fucking, yo, I don't care what you feel about the Nation of Islam. It's relevant. It's done relevant shit for us and still does. Nigga turned up with them. I salute that. So be wary of the Mzungu women, my brothers. And I know a lot of you have children with Mzungu women, and I'm not going to go and say that all white women are devil and they're all on an agenda, but they are being used for an agenda. And regardless of how you feel, my brother, there's no Mzungu woman that can assist you in your transition into a god. I don't think that's true. I think in order for us to become the full what our full potential was meant to be, then you're gonna have to be with your reflection. Like a tiger's not just gonna run upon a leopard and say both of us are cats. Let's just make a baby, and we'll call it a lepga, or a typhoid. Like it don't happen. Like Mzungu have to get a sample of that and a sample of that and mix it, or at least put them in the same environment and make them feel compelled to mate, yeah, because they're around it, where in the wild they would never be in that situation. But now artificially you've put them in that situation. Okay, the tiger breeds the leopard, but in nature don't support that. Like the eagle ain't gonna look for, yo, I want a falcon. Hold on, now I might want to just breed with a pigeon. We're all birds, yeah. So species doesn't matter. This is what we say. Oh, race don't matter. We're all humans, so let's have it like the animals. Okay, species don't matter. So me, the fucking pike fish, I'm gonna look for a sardine because I'm attracted to sardines. Yeah, so we're gonna make a pardine, half pike, half. It don't happen in nature. Eagles don't mix with pigeons. Pigeons don't mix with vultures. Vultures don't mix with peregrine falcons. Peregrine falcons don't mix with chickens. Chickens don't go and breed with a fucking crow. Do you understand? All of them are birds. Tigers don't go and breed with leopards. Leopards don't go and breed with the lynx. The lynx don't go and breed with the jaguar. The jaguar don't say, hold on, I want to go and breed with a lion. That's bullshit, even though all of them are cats. Do you understand what I'm saying? So why is humans out here, oh, race don't matter, man? We can just breed, go out of race and everything, because your melanin don't matter. Your hair don't matter. Imagine the animals now. Okay, the leopard saying, yo, lion, your hair don't matter. We're all fucking cats. And the lion saying, your spots don't matter. You never change your spots, but they don't fucking matter. And then the leopard says, you're chatting shit. And then he says to the tiger, your stripes ain't shit, bro. Them stripes are whack. We're all cats, innit? Imagine. And then the lynx comes into the picture and they tell the lynx, oh, your cute little tufts on the end of your ears and stuff, that ain't shit, bro. Cut it off. Because none of that shit matters. Because race don't matter. You understand? We're all humans. This is what we're getting in the world, and we don't understand. We say we smarter, we the smartest animals on the planet. But the animals, they all in agreement. They would have to agree with me. Like, yeah, Jadef Ray, yo, you spitting the facts, you spitting the truth. But there'll be niggas out here, humans, the smartest animals on the planet, that would disagree. Oh, you're racist. You're a reverse racist. But all the animals, they would agree with me. And hey, the suns are racist. How about that? The suns are racist. We'll get to that. So yeah, you got to be very careful right now. Everything's being used against you. Even your own black women are being used against you. The ones that are willing to sell themselves out and sell their men out for that little fucking check or for that 5 minutes of fame. They weaponizing even black women against us, and black women, they weaponizing black men against you. Do you understand? It's coming at us from everywhere. Don't get it twisted. All skin folk ain't kinfolk right now. Yeah, and all white folk ain't your fucking enemy. It's not that simple. It's very fucking blurred right now. Yeah, so like I said, the black man, he has the hypermasculinity, and I'll go as far as saying the black woman, she's got the hypernatural beauty. She's more naturally beautiful than any fucking woman on the planet. I don't care what mix this woman is. Oh, she's half Latin and half Arab. Fuck that. There's black women that make her look daft. Yeah, and that's real talk. And you'll find white men that will say the same shit. Yeah, and I stand on that shit. Like, we hyper masculine, yeah, and hyper, what masculine means, handsome and all that shit, charming, all that shit. The black woman, she hyper beautiful, naturally. She is feminine. Naturally, she is more caring than any fucking woman. I got a black mom, I got black sisters, I got a black daughter. Yo, they more caring than any fucking woman I came across. You understand? Hollywood beauty, they trying to use that to cancel out the fact that we the hyper masculine and hyper natural beauty. So they want to say, no, you're not. The best looking women in the world, the woman in the world today is Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Fuck Beyonce, fuck Megan Good, fuck what's her name? Kelly Rowland, fuck all of them nice black women, yeah. The best looking woman in the world is Scarlett Johansson. This is how they dropping it. You understand? They know this shit. They attacking us, man. They fucking attacking us. And so that's why I say to my sisters, feminism ain't shit. Because when you go back to your culture, it's matriarchal. We didn't have a need for feminism. White women had a need for feminism. That's part of their psychology. Yeah, we're taking on burdens and taking on psychology that ain't even ours. But that just shows you've sold out your culture of art for this Western culture. Yeah, most people that accept this Western culture don't know fuck all about art. It's not like they went to study in Egypt and said, you know what, that's a bunch of shit. I choose to be like a Western person. No, they ignorant, totally. I can put money on it. That they've never had no real fucking absorb the truth. Even if they've read it, they've not connected with the fucking light. The light don't connect with everyone, you know. The light in the teachings. If you ain't got light in yourself, you can't resonate with what Jedefre is saying to you or what you're researching in your history books or stuff. You ain't got enough light to make sense out of that shit or to digest that shit. And unfortunately, a lot of us are still walking around in that state where we dark beings. We don't have no light. Okay? So, as I said, the cosmic contract for Muzungu, that means it's not just Europeans. Muzungu to me means anybody who don't have a melanin. So if your melanin is depleted that low, you got Muzungu, Arabs, Chinese is fucking Muzungus, you got Brazilian Muzungu, you got Muzungus all over this bitch. You understand? If you don't have melanin, where you can naturally block out the sun and live in a natural environment, you're fucking a Muzungu. So Chinese, that's a subgroup of Muzungu. Them Chinese, them Zulu nomads, Mongoloid, that's a sub-race of Muzungu. Ottoman Turkish Arabs, the Arabs that you see today as Arabs, that's a fucking sub-race of Muzungu. They don't have melanin. So I don't care what nationality you want to give it. Nationality don't mean shit. They have the same genetic root. That's all Muzungu there. Sub-races of them, master races of them, races of them, all of them. Do you understand? That's the mankind. Yeah, also, the black men today, why they're so into white women as well, is because in society it's looked up at. Like, if I'm a rapper or whatever, and I have a black woman, that's frowned upon. Whereas if I'm come in the game as a rapper and I've got one of them hot little white girls, one of them little Muzungu girls, then that's like, yo, we ready to support you. That's like a status symbol. When you make it, they'll give you the white girl. They'll give you the best of their white girls. Here, Kanye, have Kardashian. You've earned her. This is one of our best bitches, bro. And she a handler too. But have her. Or they throw another one at you from Hollywood. Have this Jessica Biel. Or have this fucking Jessica Alba. Like, they throw these bitches out. They assign them to you, assigned to my man. Yeah, we need tabs on Jedefre. You assigned to him. You have to have him. And they tell you, you have to have her. It's good for your image. You know how good it would be when the public sees you with this woman. Your numbers are going to fly up by like 2 million more views a day. Yo, you got to understand the schematics of this shit. Do you understand? It's a status symbol. Yeah? To have a white woman. But as I remind you, the cosmic contract is done. So if you want to mix your DNA with that stuff, you better be prepared to face the consequences because your DNA might not make it. It might do make it. She might be worthy enough, but it do make it because, listen, 85% of white folk have calcified pineal gland. That means to me, 15% of white people, they have their pineal gland working. They can make it through this shit, you know. Don't get it twisted. Just like there's 15% of black people who have a calcified pineal gland. So 15%, they don't even have the chance of making it because their shit can't work. Their technology is broken. Do you understand? And once it's calcified, it's very fucking hard to get that shit fixed. I'm not saying you can't fix it, but yo, with the state of the world right now and the time left and stuff, that's a hard task. You better get to work straight away. But that's what I'm saying. There's black folk that are not gonna make it. There's white folk that will fucking make it. You understand what I'm saying? Because we gone into the sun cycle, and I've been talking about this shit for years, man. I've been telling you guys that we started in the 1970s, and by the year 2000 we'll be fully edged into this new sun cycle, and the sun cycle will be a 6,000 year cycle where the planet will heat up and the fucking sun will produce a CME flash, a solar flash, and then we'll start having solar bombardment. If you know what that, if you don't know what that is, I go through it in my new book, Today is Tomorrow is Yesterday, the book 6, where I talk about how planets are formed and how it starts and ends with solar bombardment. Yeah, where you get highly charged particles from the sun smashing on the magnetosphere. The magnetosphere is the part of the Earth, the energy of the Earth that surrounds the Earth. The first contact that the sun's rays have contact with. That first layer is called the magnetosphere, and it's shaped like the infinity symbol. It's called a bow shock. Like two circles come out the center, the north and south pole. Yeah, so you get like what's called the bow shock, and that's like a shield that takes most of the lick of the sun's cosmic rays, yeah, and flings it back out to space. Flings it, so we only keep like, let's say, a 10%, and the 90% of it gets flung back out into space, yeah. We know there's no space. I'm just using the word space to keep the conversation moving, yeah. So now, because we've been bombarded with so much more power for the last, let's say, 30, 40 years, our magnetosphere is fluctuating. Like parts of it is falling down on this side, or this side's falling down on this side. So what that means is there's parts of Earth at different times, like let's say here in Cuba, yeah, just to name anywhere, they getting solar bombarded. And this these particles, subatomic particles, are so fucking intensely hot that the planet's just gonna heat up, the whole planet. Yeah, it's like getting somebody putting a heater on you and just on your arm. Even though it's only on your arm, sooner or later your whole body's gonna fucking heat up. You understand what I'm saying? The heat's gonna travel up your arm and around your body till now your whole body's hot. You start sweating. So the Earth is like this now. When the magnetosphere, or what they call the bow shock, when that goes down in a certain region, now this place is getting solar bombarded. Okay, this is back up, but now it's down here. This is getting solar bombarded. Now it's back up here, now it's down here. This is getting solar bombarded. So the planet now is just heating up. It's getting bombarded by these solar particles. And the news, the mainstream media, they're not allowed to tell you anything outside of the textbooks. When they put you in that school system and teach you Big Bang and all of this fucking Darwinism stuff, yeah, false history and all this shit, yeah, natural selection, they can only keep their news in between these two fucking parameters. Anything that comes outside of this shit, like bastard, we found a giant today, that can't come on the news, because that's not part of the narrative that they taught you, that they told you to accept. So they can't report aliens, giants, Nephilim, Anunnakis, Stargates. All this shit is, for what I've just called, is what's been being found on Earth and experimented with for the last 100 fucking years. And that's cutting it short. But let's just deal with the last 100 years. They've been finding this shit. They can't tell you about it. Just like they can't tell you right now, bastard, the planet's heating up so hot, we're going to have to fucking get off the surface. Boy, we can't tell them that shit. Let's just tell them, yeah, the planet's heating up, but it's all under control. It's all good. We're building bunkers in the background, but nothing to worry about, really. All it is you lot have to cut your carbon footprint. You lot, not us. Yeah, it's not the car companies who've got all of these fucking cars. Yeah, more cars than you could ever fucking count, going everywhere, in every city, in every place on fucking Earth. Trains still polluting. Factories fucking polluting. Oh yeah, that's just a minor. Really, it's you guys. You got to use less electric in your house. You got to use less water. You got to turn your switches off. Yeah, yo, try and cut back on your electricity. It's your fault. You, the citizen. Oh, you meat eaters. Oh, it's your fault. Cows, and it's the cow's fault. And fucking bullshit, nigga. We are the climate change. We are the carbon. Oh, carbon footprint, nigga. My footprint is carbon. I'm made out of fucking carbon. We are the carbon footprint. We are the fucking climate change. We are the awakening. The more we awake, the more the planet heats the fuck up too. Because everything's tied. There's so many levels to this shit. So yeah, what I'm saying, we're going through a solar bombardment. That is the precursor. Sorry, that is the precursor to the CME flash. And for those that don't know, When we say CME, we mean coronal mass ejection. So it's not just a solar flare that's like, it's a whole fucking massive thing that lick out planets, lick out satellites, lick out moons, fry out your fucking electric circuit on Earth and shit. Overwhelm all the cables till all the cables on Earth are just dead. They're fried out. We got no internet. We got no smartphone network. Or we're gonna have to start from scratch and build it all up again because it's fried out. And we due for one of them right now. It's over fucking due. So they're getting scared. So you get people like Bill Gates, Elon Musk. Can you guys like come up with some kind of technology that we can block this fucking racist sun? Because this sun's out to kill us. This sun's trying to finish our empire. We gotta block it. Solar warden. Let's put all our billions into this shit here and see if it can happen. It's the end for them, man. They doing this shit for real. Yeah. Right. Hold on. I want to say as well, don't fall for the lie that I'm not going to use the word submissive. I'm going to replace the word submissive with receptive. I don't want my woman to be submissive to me. I want my woman to be receptive to me, just like I'm receptive to her, and that's how I am with her. So I don't do this submissive shit. But anyway, just for sake of, you know what I'm talking about that word, when a woman's happy to cater for her man and cater for her husband, and a man is happy to cater for his wife and be receptive of his wife and vice versa and stuff. I'm talking about that. And they try and go on like, oh, the black woman is not submissive and fucking the black woman don't want to like, the black woman's angry all the time and she's hard work and she's hard to deal with. Man, you might as well just get a white chick, because then white chick is easy, man. You can do what the fuck you want. You can go missing for days and they ain't gonna hold you to account for it. This is how they used to sell it. It might be a bit different now, you understand? But this is how they used to sell it to us, and we got used to it, and we started believing, drinking that Kool-Aid, like, yo, black women are long, man. Yeah, I don't, white woman now, I can do what I want. Yeah, I don't have to really connect with her on that kind of level. I can just kind of like surface love her and fucking. They trying to tell us that the black woman is not receptive, or she's not beautiful, or she's not feminine. You understand? They use the word submissive, but that's what they really mean. Like, oh, she's not good looking, she's not athletic, she's not feminine. And a lot of time, like I said on the feminism live, our sisters support that shit. They make it easy for people to say that. A lot of them do, not all of them. Shout out to all the sisters that do the fucking be on their gym routine, that fucking make sure they eat healthily and they not just stuffing themselves. Do you understand? The women that really do speak highly of their spouses, whether it's husband or boyfriend or whatever, they speak highly of the men in their family, whether it's their fathers and their uncles, and they fucking, yo, they see men in a high light. A lot of our sisters, they want to speak down to men. They want to cast men in that low light, like all men are dogs and all of this shit. And so they support this image that they trying to put out there with this the female king, or whatever they call in this shit. Is it the female king? The woman king, sorry. The woman king. They support this type of shit. They want us to feel this about black women and femininity and stuff. And a lot of black women have fell for it. Yeah, a lot of black women, they don't want to train. I've said it before. Every time I say it, I get attacked. There's black women, it's not all of us, man, I like that. I've always said this. I'm talking about the large group and the collective mentality of not doing that. Like, for white girls, it's a mentality. If I go to the gym now, there's more white girls there than black girls. Yeah? And if I go to my city, Leicester, and I go to the gym, there's more fucking white girls in there than black girls. I can count the black girls on one hand that's in this fucking gym. Do you understand what I'm saying? But these bitches is taking it serious. They fucking bodies and they diets and shit. Like, yo, don't be helping them do that shit. Make sure you are receptive to your spouse. Like, protect your spouse. Whatever your spouse likes, do that for your spouse. As a man and as a woman. If my missus like this, I'm doing it. Because she likes that shit. And I want to keep her in that high vibration, and she feels like, yo, my attention's for her, and I want her to feel nice, and I want her to feel good, and I want us both to grow. And yo, I just watch my front. She can watch my back. She only got to watch her front. I watch her back. So I got her. She got me. We have to have this relationship. We can't be out here, I'm not cooking for no man. Or you know what, I'm not washing up, that's a woman's job. Yo, I might tell my man, I'm washing up tonight, because I don't want you, after you've had all this long day, to think about, bastard, I gotta wash these plates. So you know what, I'm gonna wash them. I might not even tell her, I'm just gonna wash that shit, because I'm considering her. Like, we need to be receptive to each other and start working as a team again and stop it with this bullshit, man. And most of it is coming from America, from Western culture. I might say Western culture instead of saying America. It's coming from this Western culture that we've normalized among ourselves, that we're calling our culture, replacing our real matter with this degenerate shit, man. This degenerate system that's producing degenerates. A lot of us don't want to change our diets, yeah? A lot of us, especially the black women, we don't want to say, you know what, I need to cut meat down and go into the alkaline shit. Shout out to all the sisters who do put light on doing that, and how important it is for us to get back on an alkaline diet and to chop pig out our diet and certain other heavy meats. Yo, take it out. Even bring it down. Some of us just want to stuff our faces, just be foodies all the fucking time. Oh, I just care about food. I just want to eat all the time. Just need to be big. I don't care. I don't want to go gym. Counterfeit culture that we've got. And a lot of it is slave diet, slave food. The shit that was fed, or we had to feed ourselves in the time of being chattel slaves and being shipped all over this motherfucker. We're still eating that crap now and think that's real food. Do you understand? And I'm not dissing Caribbean food or but some of the shit that we come up with, there's no health in it. There's no fucking sustenance in that. The only sustenance is keeping you in that slave mind. Yeah, and we need to do more, especially the sisters. Yeah, and I'm talking about, if the sisters are like that, then the men have to follow suit, because more time the woman's gonna run the kitchen. So if she's like, fuck it, I'm not eating no more meat, you know, if you want to eat meat, you're gonna have to cook that shit yourself, fam. Or even if she plans to cook it for man, he's still gonna have to have a hard discussion with himself about, bastard, my missus don't really eat meat no more, you know, she don't, I think about this shit more now. Do you understand? Yeah, man, the counterfeit culture, man, that they give us through Hollywood and celebrity and digital, the devices that they give us now, which is kind of like our handler. Your phone is your own fucking handler. It's always reminding you about some irrelevant shit, about Johnny Depp or Amber Heard or fucking Mark Zuckerberg and the metaverse. All of this pharmakeia shit to keep you distracted. You're never going to see nothing real on that shit, on this reel. You're never going to see, okay, we found the fucking survivors of Epstein's fucking island. And you're never going to see that shit. If you see that shit, you see it somewhere else on one of the lesser channels, on some small platform somewhere who's took the risk to fucking air out Hunter Biden or whatever. But you're never going to see it on your mainstream news channels or media and shit like that. That's part of the handling, part of the normalization of this lie that we're all living in and we're all subliminally accepted. Yeah, they use hip hop and Hollywood, man. They use sports. They use TV personalities. Yeah, they're now using a lot of black news anchors and black politicians who, to me, that just equals dirty moors. Yeah, it's like they thinking about self-preservation because their cosmic contract is done and the sun is tipping point, niggas. I'm about to burn you niggas off the surface. You better get from the fucking surface, yeah? So they know, okay, we can't kill all the black people. Because if we kill all the black people, then the planet might be 3 degrees hotter. Because there's no melanin on the earth to absorb half of that sun UV light that's coming in. These black people, they like solar panels. They soaking up this shit. So hold on, we can't even kill all of them. If we kill all of them, the planet will burn us up. It will be like maybe 3 degrees hotter than it is now. So what we'll do is cull them. Meaning we'll keep their numbers to a certain level. We won't let them get too big for their boots. Even though we can't wipe them all out, we must keep culling them. We must keep culling them. Because if we don't, there's going to be ones born that challenge us and challenge the system. There might be 10 more fucking Jadef rays. Yeah? At the moment we can handle this. We have 1 or 2 popping up here and there, and we can, try and lick them down and push them down and censor them and control. But imagine if we had 100 of these Jadef ray niggas and shit, man. We can't cope with that, so we have to keep culling these niggas. Make an excuse, shoot the nigga. Oh, he reached in his pocket, so I shot him. Or this nigga ran around the corner, so I shot him. But you got Mzungu geezers going in schools with fucking rifle or whatever and coming out, and the police is still, hold on. Yeah, we don't want to shoot you. We want to take you in alive. Yeah? But if a one black man, he sped away from the traffic light, so I shot him in the back of the head. Make it make sense. This makes it make sense. This is what I'm telling you here. Well, I've told you all before. It's not new. Yeah. So they're thinking about their genetic annihilation. You should be thinking about self-preservation and everything to do with self-preservation, which also means black love, which is the most revolutionary thing you can do on the earth right now. I don't care what your history is or how many white girls you've been with or what you used to be into. That's the most revolutionary shit you can do right now if you really want to redeem yourself. Yeah. 1970s, that was the pro end of days. Yeah. Everything since then, 1970s, was trying to prepare you for what's going to come in the year 2000. From the year 2000, everything that was going on in the 70s is going to go on for the next 30 years, all the way up to 2030. So if you go back to the 1970s, if you're a historian like I am, even a modern historian of modern time, if you remember the 70s, it had enough civil rights, black power, people finding their identities, people challenging the fucking government, anarchy, flower fucking power, spiritual revolution, decolonization, where countries were like, fuck the empire, fuck Britain, and yo, we want our own independence. So all that shit that was going on in the 70s, you can see it now, going on right now. Like I said, it's tipping point. We got the anarchy, we got the political unrest, we got black people finding back their ancestral shit, putting up the middle finger to Jesus and the church and the fucking mosque and the Arabs, and yo, we got the fucking climate business going on. Because remember, the same time in Father Bush, the first Bush, George Bush, not his son W with the Iraq War. I'm not talking about him. I'm talking about the first Iraq War, the first George Bush, the dad. You understand? When he fucking came into power and he was talking about, oh, it's a fucking new world order and all this shit, and after him with Reagan and stuff, they chose the economy over the fucking environment. It was a big topic. Yo, right, we're going to have to choose one, you know. It's either we choose the economy, yeah, or we choose the environment. If we choose the environment, our economy is going to fall. We're going to have to stop doing shit. We're going to have to stop fracking. We're going to have to stop coal and all of this shit. And yo, it's going to break America, yeah. Our fucking economy will go into a depression, yeah. Or if we choose the economy, the world is going to go into a climate change and the fucking weather's going to change and we'll have big massive changes to the landmass and to fucking storms and all of that shit, and we might not be able to fix it. Yeah, what's the decision? Right, we're choosing the economy. Whatever happens, we'll deal with it. So now it's fucking 30, 50 years later, my humans, and you have to fucking deal with the choices that you made. America, you led the way. You told the world, yo, we choosing the economy. Our economy is more important to us than the ecosystem, than Mother Nature, than the fauna, than the flora. We choose the economy. We big bad America. We the biggest economy in the world. We so happy about our economy. We don't give a shit about nothing else. And they telling you now it's your fault for the climate change. You're going to have climate restrictions. You're going to have carbon credits to touch the climate change and shit. They set this motherfucker up. The 1970s was the pre-end of days, and what we've seen is a ludicrous diversion. Yeah, they lost the hold on our minds. Like this great conjunction, I put it down to that, this watershed moment, what signaled in, okay, now it's the apocalypse, it's the removal of the veil, or in today's language, the awakening. So the veil is down. So that means, yo, the media and this matrix, they lost hold on our mind. From the 70s coming all the way up to that fucking lockdown moment when they put the world in lockdown, the whole world, that whole fucking point of 50 years from the 1970s coming up to 2020, yeah, which was March the 20th 2020, bang, the first day of lockdown. You understand what I'm saying? They now have lost hold of our minds because the veil's down and so much stuff is being exposed and let out and coming out of different quarters where people ain't relying on the media no more, CNN, BBC, whatever. People are getting the shit on their phone even before it's on CNN. You've seen it on your phone first, more time. You've seen it on YouTube or somewhere first. And we've seen the raw version, which probably end up get taken off. And now later you see it on CNN. Now hold on, this is different. They've watered this shit down. Like they can't even keep up with the technology no more. The news is obsolete, the mainstream news channels, but they still trying through their teeth. Oh, we've got a new election for Richie Sunak and Liz Truss. You go and look at the numbers, it's like 6,000 views, 12,000 views, Let's be generous, 100,000 views. Nigga, there's 7 billion people in the world. There's like 55 million people in England. So out of 55 million people in England, only 7,000 is watching this election shit on BBC and stuff. Yo, the numbers are way down. No, they ain't got the same control on people's mind and stuff no more. This is freak them the fuck out. They still trying to get it back. Oh, yo, Boris is gone. Now we've got Liz Truss and Richie Sunak. And they try and make this circus to make us still believe in this stuff. Some of us are dumb enough to still believe in these systems. You understand? Like, we think it's going to make a difference. Boris is gone and someone else is going to come. Nigga, don't make no fucking difference. Just like Trump or Biden, it don't make no fucking difference, mate. It really doesn't. Yeah, look at America now. Yeah? Do you really think it would have been much different if Trump was in? Them Trump supporters would say, yeah, Trump was out cleaning out the swamp. What's he for? Stop kidding yourself, man. They lost hold on the people's mind collectively. Politics, people are fed up with politics. People are fed up with royal families. People are fed up with dictators. The whole fucking shit, the shit's kicking off all over this joint. It don't matter if it's Muslims, Christians, Chinese, communists, democracy, capitalists. It don't matter. All that shit's a myth. Humans have had enough. People have had it fucking enough. Black ones, white ones, males, females, old, young. We've had it fucking enough. We still out here trying to argue about Moors and Hebrews and Egypt and fuck all that, bro. Guys, you see what's going on? People are irritable right now. People are getting annoyed over the littlest things because inside themselves there's a whole fucking, chaos in there going on. A conflict, a clash in a lot of people. They're battling with the group mind and being an individual. Can I still have my own opinions and my own beliefs? Do I really need validation from the world and to fit in with the world and to agree with the world narrative? And people are torn between the two, and a lot of people are weak, man. They're not as hard as they make out mentally and stuff. They rely on this shit here. They rely on the job system and the economy and work and the fucking narrative that this world has given us. They haven't took time to, let me go and research real history for myself. Let me look at God and religion for myself. Anunnaki, what is this Anunnaki thing? What is this Stargate alien shit here? What is this fucking multiverse or quantum? Enough people ain't never did that. They came out of school, went college, went work, and they just do that. Wake up, go work, come home. Like, they don't operate outside of that program. You can't be telling them about Anunnakis and fucking Nephilims and Dead Sea Scrolls and Emerald Tablets, Kaibalion. They don't know. You might as well be talking French. I keep saying this to you guys. Everything the whitey's doing now is to preserve himself because he's seeing his genetic annihilation. Yeah, and he don't want you to preserve yourself. If you preserve yourself, he calling you a racist. He calling you a troublemaker and shit. Black nationalist or whatever the word they want to put on it. They working out of desperation, yeah, because the awakening is blatant, so that they got to be blatant too. They're not even trying that much to hide stuff no more. They used to try a lot harder to hide what they're doing, but all they care about is preservation. That's why you keep seeing this word COG come up, continuation of government. We will be able to continue running the planet in our control. All we care about is COG, continuation of government. If a meteor hits, we got to have shit in place where we still got a government running. We've still got a hold of this shit. COG. Like, America is obsessed with this shit, or I should say the West is obsessed with this COG shit, which leads into Og or Gog and Magog, you understand? Which is another prophecy that comes through Christianity and Islam, yeah? It's all about control and how they're losing control. Guys, I'm at the end of that page. This page will be a bit faster. But I'm going to roll the spliff, so you're going to have to bear with me while I roll this spliff, yeah? And then I'll be back on it. Is that okay? Is there any more comments? I've got my water here. So even though my mouth might look a bit dry, yeah? I don't look like this. I don't walk down the street every day with a dry mouth. Alright? But yeah, this next part, I'm going to go more into what this solar cycle actually is and why we're at tipping point. I just felt like I had to say all of that shit there about Hollywood and Will Smith and the Cosbys and the child sex trafficking and stuff, because as I said, that's the most important topic in the world right now, and I feel like we're supposed to be putting more light on exposing why we just can't sit down at home no more and wait for the news to tell us shit. We really got to be proactive as humans and take our own destiny into our own hands. So people like me are not going to be popular because I'm brave enough to come online and say this kind of shit. whereas a lot of people ain't, because they're scared of the blowbacks or being demonetized or whatever the case may be. Do you understand? But it's that real. We really got to plug out of this system, man. I know a lot of us still work in the system. We still work to put food on our table and stuff. And I'm not telling you you should go and quit your job and fucking put yourself in a position to starve. But what I've said before to you guys, if you find yourself in that position, you really need to think about, how can I monetize my own talents? What is my purpose here on earth? Because if you don't know what your purpose is on earth, that really means your life ain't got no meaning. Because I've told you before, you guys, that life doesn't have no meaning until you assign a meaning to it. So if you can't say, oh, I don't know what my purpose is, or that means you ain't even found the meaning of your fucking life. Like, have you even asked yourself recently, what is the meaning of my life? What is my purpose here? You understand what I'm saying? And explore your own book, which is you. You read your own book, you read yourself and come into the knowing of your own self. A lot of us don't do that, man. A lot of us just want to regurgitate information that other people have said that makes us feel comfortable because it agrees with what you already accepted. Oh, I accepted Islam and this guy agrees with Islam, so I listen to him, I like him. But we never want to like challenge our beliefs, our paradigms and shit, which is when you're dealing with calcination, yeah, in the Emerald formula, the first step is called calcination. And it literally means, like, picture, I got this analogy from a sister last night, yeah, watching it with Mike and Daki, and the sister said this, it's from 7 years ago. She said, calcination, I want you to picture it like this. Picture a needle in a haystack, but you're looking for that needle. But imagine now setting fire to all the hay, and when the hay's all burned, now you got the needle. That's calcination. That's you burning through all the dredge of your own shit that they've put in you since childhood. The Hollywood, the sexualism, the religion, the fucking fake history, the fake science with the Big Bang, the politics, magic don't matter, humans are the only people in the universe. All this shit they put into us, Willie Lynch, hating each other, fucking bad-mindedness, yeah? You have to burn it off. You have to burn it off till you're left with just that needle. Now you've burnt all the hay, you're left with the needle. So that goes back to our own paradigms, our own religious beliefs, our own bad habits, our own defense mechanisms and shit. Emotional reactions, we have to burn that shit off. It's not just a case of watching lives. Like, we really have to get into the process where we practicing this shit, even if it's not every day, even if it's just 1 day a week or twice a week to start with. We need to not only be studying, but also be practicing this shit. You understand? And I think right now is a good time to start. If you haven't already started the process of structuring your day and writing down a to-do list and actually sticking to it and manifesting it, that's where I am right now. I'm having to structure my day, so I'm not just floating through days no more. So I know exactly what I'm meant to be doing at certain times, where I'm doing affirmations 3 times a day and stuff, breakfast, lunch and dinner. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's real. So I want to talk about some of the details around this solar cycle and why this is the tipping point now. This is the meat and potatoes of the discussion, yeah? Bear with me. So like I told you, yeah, it's so peak right now. It's the tipping point that we're at, that these people, because their game is over, like I was reminded on the comments, because the game is over, they're switching on each other. So because they're switching on each other now, I'll use a scenario to show you, different from Ukraine, because it's always Ukraine, so fuck Ukraine. Now, China, yeah, they getting ready to attack Taiwan, right? They see Taiwan as part of their shit, and Taiwan just thought one day, we're going to fuck China off the mainland, we're going to become our own thing. And the West supported them, and China didn't. So China still feel a grudge about that, just like they do over Hong Kong with Britain, how Britain had control over Hong Kong. They got a grudge about this Taiwan shit. It's really fucking deep with them. It's not just a surface thing. They really feel taking the piss out of, yeah? So they got this beef going on with Taiwan. And America's like, listen, Taiwan, we're going to send you $110 million of weapons so you can fight China. So China don't take this type of shit lightly. They're like, listen, if America does this, we might take military action. We might fucking retaliate. That's how we feel about it. You understand? So now America's saying, yo, well, we're gonna fly Nancy Pelosi, the wicked witch of fucking Eastwick. We're gonna fly Nancy Pelosi out there to close this deal with these fucking Taiwanese. So the Chinese are saying, yo, we might shoot this bitch out the sky. You fucking send her, we might shoot the bitches playing out the sky. As I said, the world is at tipping point, and these niggas is falling out with each other, and it's not all just a show. As I told you about the pharmakia thing, some of it is falling out. Like Putin saying, well, fuck you niggas. It's your fault as much as it is my fault. And I'm bad enough to stand up against you. It doesn't mean Putin's good. They falling out. He's telling them niggas, fuck you, I didn't like your ass anyway. Fuck you niggas. And they doing this, literally doing the same now. China's saying, yo, fuck you, America. You've had the big guns for how long? We the big fish right now. We bigger than you. So if you send Nancy Pelosi, we might shoot the bitch out the sky. Tipping point. The competition is high, man. The tension, you can cut it with a butter knife, the tension in the air right now between nations and shit. Go to Matthew 24:24. There'll be wars and rumors of war. We spoke about it before. Yeah, the tension between China and America is at all-time high. It's never been this high before, ever. This is the worst it's ever been. Where, yo, it just takes a fucking little tip for one of these niggas to nuke the next. Have you thought about what you're gonna do if that did? If a bomb dropped tomorrow in your fucking city? All of that with the rising cost of living. The rising cost of living is rising so fast, they're saying that in a couple of years, people won't be able to feed themselves and that. I went to the supermarket the other day, yeah, and a box of 6 eggs, they wanted me to pay £3.63. £3 fucking 63 to Rare for a box of eggs, man. You can get a box of eggs and shit for like £1, £1.20, £1.35. If you want some good shit, maybe like, yo, £1.90 for these eggs, £2. These are high grade shit. You understand? You have to eat eggs for my protein. You understand? Yo, these niggas wanted £3.63 for 6 eggs. You're not even talking 12 or nothing. Do you understand? The cost of living, the cost of petrol, at the petrol or gas as Americans call it at the pump. You understand? The rising fucking debt. Every fucker is in debt. Even millionaires are in debt. Big fucking millionaire artists and whatnot. They're all in debt. And so the cost of living is just one side of the coin. That's the heads. The tails is the food shortage. So not only is fucking food going through the roof to buy a box of cornflakes or whatever, there ain't no fucking cornflakes. So I can't even buy the shit. And when there is it there, it's fucking through the roof. And we're seeing the tip of the iceberg right now. We at tipping point. And they saying, yo, experts are saying, what's that nigga name? He comes on Good Morning and advising, give people advice about money advice. Is a good, what's his name? Martin what? He's like the money man. He comes and shows you how you could save on your energy bills, and you could save here and you could save there. And yo, listen to him right now talking about this cost of living shit. He can't even make a living telling us how to save no more because there's nothing to save. Man, screwing. Like, yo, they're saying soon people won't be able to buy shit. It's already started. You got people who can't afford to fucking live, and they said that this rising inflation, this cost of living thing is gonna go so peak. People are gonna die off this shit. Yeah, the food crisis and that. They say, look, England, we got reserves, we got money, we stole everybody's shit, we got gold and shit. We can survive for like a couple years. It's not gonna hit us first. Neither is it gonna hit America first. Yo, we can survive for a couple years. All these ports closed and shit. We got all of these fucking food here. We can survive. And you know what? Let's make it a bit more peak. Let's burn down all these food fucking production plants. Yeah, whether they're GMO or not, they're gone. Yeah, so it's peaker for America, but still, they're not going to be the first people that feel the fucking lick off this food shortage. The first places that are going to feel the lick are all the poor countries, your Caribbean countries, your African countries, your Indian countries, your Eastern Bloc European countries, your fucking Arab countries and stuff, in your Indus Valley, Bengali and Sri Lanka, and you already see what's happening in Sri Lanka. And what's happening in certain countries, Cuba, your Venezuela, these poor countries, they don't have no fucking reserves. They are gonna feel the lick first. There's no food. People are going in the bins outside. Go and look, go and Google in Venezuela, yeah, and how living in Venezuela is now since they removed Chavez, yeah. People are literally going out. What we having for dinner today? Yo, let's go on this street and rummage through the fucking bins, yeah, because them people over there are rich. There's got to be something in them bins. that we can find, like a piece of chicken bone that's still got chicken on it and stuff. They got niggas eating rats and shit, locusts, whatever the fuck they can find, man. In these countries, yeah, we not seeing it here because we privileged. We living in the fucking West. The lick's not, it's not come here yet. Not on the. This is just a tipping point. What we're seeing here. It's gonna continue to, even here. We're gonna be the last places, England and fucking. Canada and America, these kind of nations, they're going to be the last to feel the lick, but they are going to feel the lick. Do not make the mistake and do not get it twisted. Poor countries will be affected first. Okay. As I talked about the fluctuations in the magnetosphere and the bow shock, and I said there's parts of the planet that have been unprotected, what that means in layman terms is we're going to see landmass changes. We're going to see animal changes, mutations, plant mutations. Everything's changing. Our DNA is being changed by coming into contact with these cosmic bombardment. Some of it is for the good, with the download and all of that, downloads and all of that type of stuff. And it will make us transcend us into godhood because we on that right vibration and alignment. And then the people who are not on the right vibration and alignment, these cosmic particles that are bombarding the planet, they're going to drive you insane. You're going to see more people going insane. You're even going to see animals going insane. You're going to go out and see, yo, this crow or these birds are gone insane. They just flying in circles and then just went mad. And they're dead. Yeah? Or these pigs or these cows. See, it's insanity. The sun's going to turn people crazy. And I remember Dr. York telling us this in the 90s. That, yo, when the sun turns on, you'll see, especially the Mzungu, they start losing their minds. They'll start going crazy. And he said you'll start seeing it more and more hype up as we get closer to the fucking year 2000. Yeah, and then when we get past the year 2000, it will start speeding up again. And while he was saying that on that talk that he was doing, they were showing Britney when she was cutting off her hair and going all mad off her. We know it's not just strictly the sun that made Britney mad, but I'm saying her reaction, which was slightly mad. He was trying to say, yo, this is how they're going to be. They're just going to be losing their fucking mind and shit now. And not just humans, but animals also. And also you will see mutations in certain animals and certain insects and certain plant life. You might see two-headed lizards or fucking, you understand what I'm saying? Like, yo, it's gone all mad and shit, man. Yo, and we're not even talking about the babies who are born with black eyes and extra limbs and shit. We know what that's about with what just went on over the last 2 years. But I'm just saying there's so many changes and shit that's to come with what's going on with this tipping point. And like I said, the main one is the changes to the DNA structure of humans because we're being solar bombarded. Yeah. And like I said, this tipping point is going to make or break people based on your alignment and your vibration at this very moment, this transitionary window we're going through. Your vibration will determine whether you make it or not your fucking skin color. Not the fact that you've memorized a whole bunch of shit in religion or you've memorized a whole bunch of shit in spirituality. Yeah, you've never actualized it. Not just because, I've watched videos every day that speak about Egypt or I've watched this guy or that guy. It's to do with your alignment, with your vibration, and if you truly practice this shit for real, or it's just something that's it's just an idea. It's just on you, not really actualize nothing. You don't really actualize it into your life and make it yours. You just go off what other people say. Whether you like them, you've listened to them, or you don't like them and you don't listen to them. But if you really listen to yourself, you would be walking the path and actualizing it and putting these things into practice in your fucking life. And not a lot of us do that. Okay, so your alignment will determine whether you are made or you're broken through this tipping point, because the old matrix has to be fried out. It must be destroyed and exposed before the new earth can be fully built up upon the foundations of the old, rise out of the ashes of the phoenix. Yeah, we can't just build it on top of the bullshit that's already here. That bullshit has to be exposed. It has to be fucking wiped out. And we're seeing the wipeout happen now. The control grid that has been running us for the last 6,000 years, which controls the monetary system, which is the banking system. Yeah, it controls the fucking anyway, we'll get to that. But it controls all the systems in the matrix that keep us confined in this matrix. Yeah. So when I say this system has to be melted out, a lot of us have studied Tartaria and come to the conclusion that fucking hell, there was a mud flood. Shit was so hot, yeah, the degrees or whatever happened, that we got petrified fucking rocks. That means rocks melted like as if it was just a piece of plastic or something. Do you know how hot you have to make something to melt rock. The rock, and I'm talking about liquefy rock. It just turns into liquid one time. I'm not talking about you hold a fire there for fucking 6 hours and the stone turns red and then it heats up and it's hot and you can't. I'm talking about, and this thing's liquefied. It's fucking liquid. Stone, rock, diorite, granite, fucking stone. Some of the hardest stones on the fucking planet. Do you understand? You go to the Temple of Hathor, the steps that are made out of granite, rock. It's fucking melted, liquefied. Something melted that shit. Like I'm saying now, this grid has to be happening again. This grid has to be fried out. It has to melt. So all of these places, the Vatican's on fire, Buckingham Palaces or Balmoral's on fire, or the fucking Capitol building, or all of these places are gonna go up in smoke. I kid you not, because they're all a part of what keeps this matrix in place. They're all a part, significant part of the control grid on the motherboard, the computer motherboard, where you got the mother chip, which is like, the Vatican. And then you've got another important chip, Washington, D.C. Another chip, the Pentagon. Yeah, another chip, fucking 10 Downing Street. All of these sites, Giza Pyramids, Arabia, yeah? All of these fucking sites, for good or bad, yeah, are important points on this motherboard, this computer board, this circuit board Earth. You understand? So now all of them are being used for evil. Yeah. Originally, there was part of a control grid that was part of Gaia's regulation system. It was tuned to 432 hertz. Yeah, A minor. So everything was harmonious. Like the frequency that the planet vibrated on was a 5D loving frequency that was very healing. The buildings were built on that frequency, so they just stand forever because everything's harmonized in this. They reversed that shit. Yeah, like Empress Lotus said when she was mentioning the point that she made about the magic, how they deal with inversion. So they flip that shit upside down and spin it, like the symbol that Hitler's got, the swastika. That's an ancient symbol that they spun. They inverted that shit and spun it, so they turned the forces against the natural order of things. Do you understand what I'm saying? So what I'm saying is we're going to see petrified buildings, rocks melted and shit. Some of these sites, they're going to end up like the ancient sites. Like we'll see the Vatican and stuff looking like some of them sites in fucking Egypt. And some of them sites that go across the 33rd parallel, which is the magic ring that runs around the circumference of the fucking earth. It's just above the equator, where you can say, I can't remember how much degrees it is above the equator, but you got the Tropic of Cancer, the Tropic of Capricorn, and the equator. And then you got like the 30th parallel, and you got the 33rd parallel, you got all types of parallels, but the 33rd parallel significantly is known as the magic ring because of how it vibrates, and it's linked to the fucking cosmos, and how many ancient sites are scattered on this line all across the earth plane. Yeah, so you get places like Tiahuanaco, the Giza pyramids. Yeah, you get places like fucking where is it in Mexico, Palenque, and then you get places like Gobekli Tepe. Yeah, and then you get places like Persepolis, Iran. Yeah, and then you might go around into China, and then you get Xi'an Pro. All these shits aligned, all the way from fucking America all the way to fucking China, man. You understand what I'm saying? The 33rd parallel, and that tunes into there's 33 vertebrae in your spine. You understand what I'm saying? And this goes into there's 33 turns in a full strand of DNA. Do you understand? So when they're giving you this Jacob's ladder shit, yeah, and they're giving you this Freemasonry 33 degrees shit, they're hiding this knowledge from people and giving us this Jesus, Mary, yes, God saved you, died to save you, his only begotten son, and all that fuckery. Caesar Borgias, or they're giving you this Muhammad shit. Fuck everyone, and only Muhammad's important. Yeah, he's Allah's prophet. All them other prophets, they're minor. All your ancestors, they're minor. Every nigger is minor. The only nigger that means anything is Muhammad or the Hebrews. Fuck everyone. The only people God loves is Hebrews. This little strip of land just in between Africa and Rare. Just that little strip of land, these insignificant little fucking land, and this insignificant little tribe, that's the only fucking people God cares about. We're not Africans, we don't care about Egypt. Egypt was evil, fuck black women, and all of this shit. You understand what I'm saying? They hide in the knowledge of all of these ancient sites would have been talking the same type of stuff that we speak today about the Ma'atian principles and our ancestors and shit, and they was destroyed when the invasion happened with these reptilians. Do you understand? Um, so you got places like even Babel in the Bible, Muzungu scholars now they say good ones too. That bastard, according to our research, Babel was right on the 33rd parallel. So if we dig deep enough, we should be able to find the foundation of the Tower of Babel. I'm sure they've already found it and they just didn't announce it. They just kept it to themselves. Yeah, but that's meant to be on the 33rd parallel as well. Okay. And there's more places. I just popped a few that came out of my head, right? If you research it, there's way more places. A couple of them I might even have gotten wrong. It might not be Tiahuanaco on there. It might be a Techno Chitlan or some other shit. But I was just trying to give you certain places like that are scattered all across the 33rd parallel, all right? Um, so even now, when we're seeing with the whole George Floyd shit, the psyop and the racial tension that it caused in the world in early 2020, just when they started this lockdown shit, and how it kind of made everyone forget about the fucking pestilence for a good 2-3 weeks. No one cared about what the news was saying about social distance or this, that, virus, this. Everyone just fucked the virus off and was pissed and was on this race thing. Cities were blowing up, man. Motherfuckers was taking down statues and dashing them in the fucking streams. You remember this shit, guys? It weren't too long ago. I know a lot of us have goldfish memory, but I know you guys have got real memory. So I know you remember what I'm talking about. See what I'm saying? Since then, the importance and price of melanin just risen. We started seeing it on social media, how melanin is more than platinum. For how much this gram of melanin, I can't even remember what the fucking number was, but it was making gold look daft and platinum look daft, and it was basically the most valuable commodity at that moment, because you got to look at it like this. When you talk about diamonds, you're talking about precious stones. When you talk about gold, you're talking about precious metals, right? So if they're telling you melanin is worth more than diamonds and gold, then is that not precious genetics? If diamonds is precious stones and gold is precious metal and platinum is precious metal, and your melanin costs 2 and 3 times more per gram than them fucking shit, and you see how people are going on over fucking gold, then that must means then you got fucking precious genetics. So how come we don't see it as precious? Like what I've just said about us being with white women and shit, like we don't really, our melanin don't mean shit to us then. When to them it means everything. They willing to pay an arm and a leg to get some of your fucking melanin, but you just give it away. You give it to any fucking white girl that will accept you, or white man if you're a Venus Williams or a Serena Williams or whatever the fuck. You get me? Do you really know and value what melanin is and the function that it performs outside of just being a pigment in your fucking skin like the Muzungu told you? I'm asking you that as a rhetorical question. You understand what I'm saying? I'm not going to answer it for you. That's something you should ask yourself. Yeah, I'd be interested to see if anyone puts the answer on here. Say, do you really know what melanin is? Do you know what it's made of? Do you know the functions it performs for you? Like, feel free to put it on the comments, any of you guys. Yeah? Feel free, I'll read it and I'll respond to it. And I won't to criticize you. I just want us to ask ourselves. Because in society, it doesn't seem like we really value that shit. We give it away at any opportunity. And our ancestors in their teachings, they was like, yo, you got a sense of duty and a responsibility to pass that shit down to your children. That's a gift. But they telling us out here race don't matter, all lives matter, all this shit. They don't want you to have any kind of race pride or have any kind of value for you. For melanin, they value your shit. Like I said, you can Google it. They fucking willing to pay an arm and a leg for your melanin per fucking gram, like it's drugs or something, gold or something. You understand? But we don't want to do that. We don't want to value our own shit. We don't value our hair, the melanin that makes our hair curly. We want to perm our hair out and have a hair like a fucking tamahu, some dead, burnt up hair. You understand? When or we want to cover our hair. We want to wear everything to cover our hair because our hair's difficult or our hair's not beautiful. Like white women got long hair, black women don't got no hair. And that's the excuse people try and use now to say black women ain't beautiful. Oh, black women are the beautifulest women in the world. Yeah, but they ain't got no hair. You see what I'm saying? Wear your afros, man. Put your fucking crown out because they hating on that shit. It's going back to them cats telling the lion, yo, your hair don't matter, your mane ain't shit. You understand what I'm saying? Wow, babe. I'll wrap this up in a minute and eat it. Jazakallah.
Okay. Do you want to pull down?
Yeah. Please give me a minute, please, people. I'm being looked after, so I can't front on this. Wow, I was gonna tell you, this is a lot. Appreciate it, yeah. I'm gonna batter it in a minute. Let me just wrap this up.
I'm gonna steal some lipstick.
Yes, feel free. It's battering me, man. Save me a burn on it, yeah. Jazakallah, yeah. Oh, Jazakallah. Yeah, what was I saying, guys? Hold on. See, when I get interrupted, I shouldn't say interrupted, but you know what I mean. It makes me have to catch myself. Give me a minute. Yeah, so they willing to pay us for our melanin more than gold and platinum. This shit's precious to them, just as precious metals and precious stones. Your fucking hair is precious. Your lips, your fucking hips, your everything about you is so fucking precious. You are precious genetics. And they really don't want us to focus on that and to celebrate. We supposed to be celebrating that shit right now. Yo, you told me I was a monkey for 500 years and I ain't shit and I came from slave. Now all of a sudden I'm the fucking hottest nigga on the planet. If I sum up all my melanin now, this beautiful melanin in me, I'm a walking, talking, fucking $1 trillion check for these Muzungus. This is how you have to look at it when they're running up on our brothers and shooting them in the back of the head and killing our sisters and running up in their houses and spraying up Breonna Taylor. Yo, they making money, even if it's a piece, just a piece of melanin. Do you know how much money they can make out of just getting them? Yo, get a chunk of our melanin to rest, Claire. Like they did with Henrietta Lacks and stuff. So that's why I asked that question, do you really know what your melanin is and the value of it and the function that it performs and why the ancestors said, yo, that's a gift, you must pass that shit down. The Neteru themselves gave you that gift. The Anunnaki said, yo, we got to coat their genes with melanin just like ours. Yeah? Why are we so ready to give it away in interracial fucking being race traitors and that, going and putting these white women on a pedestal and shit, man? What they ever did for fucking us? You understand? You really feel that's the way forward? That we supposed to be submissive, let me use that word, to a fucking Muzungu woman, knowing the history of us and them and white women slave masters and fetishes and all that type of shit. And you really, yo, that's what you niggas want to do, man. I can't argue with you. You understand what I'm saying? But I certainly ain't gonna fucking do it. Jazakallah, man. I'm not fucking doing it. Hold on. Yeah, so we giving away our melanin in these interracial unions and shit. Yeah, we give it away in diet. I say that because the diets that we're on now, with all this, how Americans' diet is, the average American, I'm not getting at everyone, people who accept this American modern culture, eating in the takeouts, hamburgers, triple extra large, McDonald's, fucking, all of that bullshit. That's fucking, yo, that's dishonoring your melanin. That's toxic for your melanin. Yeah? This fucking trap music that you're listening to, that's toxic to your melanin. Yeah? This fuck culture that you're listening to, that's toxic to your melanin. The same with Jamaica, with all this toxic dancehall music, where it's all about killing right now. Oh, Vibes Cartel, killing, Wara, shoot man, kill a motherfucker, dump his body. Yeah? And then the women now is just slutted out. Oh, Shensia, fucking let's celebrate this slut. Let's celebrate this other fucking slut here, Lady Saw. And it's all slut business. Women talking about getting dig me pum pum and this pum pum that and fucking yo. And the days of Bob Marley and the spiritual upliftment of ska and reggae has turned into this filth, man. Yeah, these holidays that we're celebrating, that is toxic to our melanin. Everything we do changes our melanin, even if just a simple thing like, yo, I'm celebrating Christmas, that's toxic. That changes your melanin. These holidays that they're talking about, these Western traditions that they've normalized for us, all this shit is abnormal, yeah? And then the ancestral teachings and African spiritual system of Ma'at, you probably give it 5 minutes, and then you've gone to something else. Yo, let me get back to this Bible shit. I want to find out who really was Abraham. I want to find out, is Jesus real? Yeah? You ain't got time to study. Let me study the real story of King Tut. Let me study the real science behind the Olmecs from someone who spent their life dedicated to this shit. Ivan Van Sertima, thank you, master teacher. I'm going to listen to all your work. I'm going to read all your books and all the fucking painstaking work you did in a time where we didn't have shit. We didn't have no resources or nothing. We literally had to be an archaeologist ourselves and dig our truth out of fucking nowhere. And I salute you niggas. So I'm going to read all your shit and I'm going to build onto your shit and make it relevant. Keep it relevant because you already made it relevant. I'm going to keep it relevant now as Jadefri. That's what I represent as Jadefri. I represent Ivan Van Sertima. I represent Dr. Ben Yokanen. I represent Sheikh Anta Diop. I represent Dr. Malachi York. I represent fucking, who else? Kaba Kameni, even though he's still here doing his stuff. I represent Professor James Small, even though he's still here representing his stuff. I represent all the great men, Marcus Garvey, Noble Jew Ali, Elijah Muhammad, who came, and even though they may have made mistakes, they lived their whole fucking life in a time where you could have died tomorrow dealing with this shit. And them niggas lasted and was relevant enough that we remember them today and we fucking benefit. And they added on to us and they gave us back shit that the Mozungu never wanted us to have again. Imagine if these men that I just called, none of them ever came. Imagine the position we'd be in now. There was never a Dr. Ben. There was never a Dr. Henrik Clark. Imagine if there was never a fucking Ashra Kwesi. Imagine if there was never Professor James Small. There was never a Dr. Malachi York. There was never Elijah Muhammad. There was never Noble Jew Ali. Do you know how fucked up we'd be? But we want to listen to all these new fucking snake oil niggas that's jumping on social media, giving you a whole bunch of misinformation, and you ain't even never said, let me dedicate myself to reading The African Origins of Civilization by Sheikh Anta Diop. He weren't just somebody who spoke and made emotional fucking opinions. This nigga was a geneticist. This nigga stole DNA off the mummies in Egypt from the museum and took them back to Senegal, West Africa, to his radiocarbon lab and fucking tested them and proved, okay, these are black people, Negroes like me. Black, Bantu looking Africans like me. They don't look like that fucking Moses movie. They didn't look like fucking Elizabeth Taylor and that Cleopatra, Charlton Hess. None of them. They don't look like Christian Bale. They look like me with the big nose and the big lip. In fact, they make me look like I'm mixed down. He proved it. He did that shit. We owe that nigga to make sure we know that fucking work that he did like the back of my fucking hand. So I can quote it. Without him, I couldn't have had the treasures in the sun. Because I'm using his shit to keep relevant now and build on it and link it more to the Anunnaki shit. Because they just strictly was on a history thing. Okay, my job now, I need to keep this relevant and link it to what's going on now with what we found further since the 60s and the 70s with all the shit we know now, built off what they started. You niggas out here listening to these snake oil men getting paid by YouTube. Fuck YouTube. Fuck these snake oilers. I ain't listen to none of them niggas. And you can feel like I'm ignorant. I don't even give a shit what people think. I'm here to do a job and I'm doing it and that's it. Because some of us is hard-headed niggas, man, and we ain't gonna get it even after people like me coming out saying this. Niggas don't get the shit. Jazakallah. So, like, why do we dishonor ourselves in these ways? Why do we still participate in this matrix? Why do we still get into these interracial unions? Is it out of desperation? Is it out of necessity? Is it out of programming, psychology? Is it all of that, bits of all of that? Definitely what we have to tell ourselves, we need to deal with it. We need to face it. We can't ignore it no more, or we don't want to talk about it because we might offend our white friends or whoever the fuck else, our families. Yo, you need to sort that shit out right now. And I want to say, our ancestral teachings and our African spiritual system of what I say we don't want to give no time to. We're giving time to everything else. We're replacing it with everything else, with mysticism, with Hindu fucking teachings, with fucking religion, trying to stay stuck in this Christian Jesus shit and trying to justify it and find excuses and still want to say you're conscious. You can't be conscious and Christian. It's one or the other, either or, and it's the same for Muslims. I don't care how you feel. Yeah, we want to replace it with philosophy and atheism. I don't believe in God. God is religion. Because the only thing you ever understood about God was what the Muzungu said. So when you hear the word God, you think about monotheistic, Islam, Judaism, Christianity. Oh, I don't believe in God. But you ain't never thought, what did black people say about this whole God thing? Before I say I'm an atheist, let me go and study some Medunetta and study this Sumerian shit or any ancient shit just to see how what these ancient kingdoms that were so splendid like Egypt and the Olmecs and the Mayans and fucking what did they say about God before it got to the church and the masjid? We don't want to explore. We don't want to do the work. We want to have an emotional reaction based on the little confist view that we have of religion. We grew up in a Christian household, so Christianity is religion. So I don't believe in God. But you ain't never really gone outside of not only Christianity, but outside of the whole Western Mzungu concept of divinity and deity and God. And let me be brave enough to go and turn to people who actually look like me and see what they fucking said. And we all know these people came first. And they had these kingdoms first, beautiful kingdoms. So they must have had some type of understanding about divinity and royalty. And look, the pharaohs and pyramids, yo, they must have had some fucking different knowledge. Let me go and really fuck what these lot say. Because I've already fucking, yo, that's bullshit. So let me go and see what these lot say. Yeah? Because I've kept the best parts of here and all the dogma and the dribble of it. I've calcination, I've burnt that shit off. So I've only kept the fucking, that needle in the haystack. Now I'm going over here to do the same. I might have to do less of it. I might not have to burn as much bullshit off, but there'll definitely be bullshit attached to the Sumerian shit too, because it's the Muzungus who control the narrative. And it's the same when I go to Kemet. I'm going to have to untangle some shit, because they really went in on Kemet. They didn't want us to know some shit, so I'm going to find a whole mess here when I go here. Things that conflict and conflicting views, and yo, I'm going to have to spend time really researching so I can untangle it. But people don't want to do that, but they want to troll me, or oh, I don't listen to him, he's not no nigga. I've been on this 25 years. I will hold my weight with anyone, yeah, and I will stand on what I'm saying, yeah, and the books that I write stand on what I'm saying, yeah, because writing books means I expose myself. Because if I write shit in my books that isn't correct, then I won't be out here still selling Treasures in the Sun or still selling fucking COVID 1984. People wouldn't still be buying these books. Obviously they'll say, hold on, you trying shit, mate, this is snake oil. This fucking coronation shit here, what you said, this shit ain't got no graphene. But hey, you can go and fucking do the research. You understand what I'm saying? So yeah, we trade in that shit, replacing it with mysticism, religion, philosophy, atheism, yeah. And we accept that we were colonized in the mind, in the tongue, in our lands, yeah, and we accept white racism, supremacy under the name of colonialism. We just, where we are, what we was born into, we accept it. We never really, we might question it and moan, but we never really take a stance and say, I'm gonna work to fucking be a part of the overthrowing of this shit. Everything I say is gonna support overthrowing this shit. People might look at me a certain way, I don't even care, because I'm just geared up to overthrowing this, helping to overthrow this shit, to defeat it, to see it off of the earth. That's what I care about. Do you understand? So I like I'm saying, they're doing all of this because of the fear of genetic annihilation, because they know their DNA is only temporary. Yeah, your genes go back to forever. I'll say that again. Your genes, your DNA, your genetics go back to for fucking ever. That's how old they are. It goes back to forever. Do you understand? Or we can cap it off to 76 trillion years in the stars, where we were born in the stars. We didn't originate here on Earth. Yeah, and now we're seeing the weather flip. The weather's racist now. Like I said earlier, the sun's a racist. You don't care what you think. You can't ask the sun, oh, why are you racist, man? Why are you burning up white people? The sun's just gonna look at you. I'll bun you up. You understand? I bun up unnatural shit that's not meant for my life. I fucking burn them out. Some of them will be able, I can vibe with them. They pineal glands on and shit. They human. Yeah? Most of these niggas, these 85% of niggas, I'm burning them out. I don't care how you feel about it. It's the same if I burn out the fucking, wipe out the saber-toothed tigers. I'm going to get rid of them. It's like me, Mother Nature, I say I want to get rid of them and bring in another species. Yo, platypus, I'm getting rid of that. Or dodo, I'm getting rid of that. Do you understand? And yeah, sometimes it's man that takes out these creatures, but sometimes it's not. Sometimes it's Mother Nature that just hit that switch. Your time's finished, mate. Yeah, I'm bringing in something else. I might bring you in back in the future if I want. Yeah? We got all these Mzungu out here trying to save everything. They trying to kill everything and at the same time trying to save everything that Mother Nature wants out. Yo, save the fucking Bengal tigers. Mother Nature might say, yo, Bengal tiger, your time's up, mate. We're going to bring something else in. You the big man now. You Caspian tiger. This shit's a memory. So you now, you're the upgrade. Yeah? Thanks for your services, Bengal tiger. You was the foundation. They white Mzungu want to be out here, yo, save the Bengal tiger. The Mother Nature wants it gone. Do you understand what I'm saying? You're going to cause a problem, upsetting the balance in the ecosystem. Mother Nature wants it gone. She's the ultimate fucking authority. Yo, this food here, I can't. Babes bought me this food. Yeah, it's just threw me off. Hold on. You'll have to forgive me for that, guys. Yeah, the sun is a racist. The sun discriminates. The sun judges. The sun chooses. The sun kisses some people, like my people. The sun fucking burns and fucking bites other people. Some people, the sun crowns them. Some people, the sun says, oh, you got to get off the fucking surface, pal. This is what I mean when I wrote the book Coronation. It's not just about no fucking pestilence. You understand? The word corona is talking about the sun. So there's something in what they've did with this lockdown that is to do with the sun. That's the causation of this shit. You understand what I'm saying? When we're talking about juxes and chips and all that, that's the effects. Every cause has an effect. Every effect has a cause. So if we're talking about causation, then it's going back to the sun and the science of the sun heating up and them feeling compelled to fucking do what they're doing. Yeah? Hold on. And so in Revelation 20, verse 9, I wrote it down. It talks about how these people will try and gather up around us when we build up our cities and go off grid. And it talks about how the Most High just sent fire down from heaven to burn up them rats. Yeah, and you can read that in Revelation 20, yeah, chapter 20, verse 9. The fire coming from heaven. Yeah, it's talking about these same people with leprosy, vitiligo, albinism. 1 in every 7,000 creatures, animals in earth is born an albino. You understand? And the albino or the albinism is at the end of the genetics. It's not the pinnacle. Like they want you to feel that Mzungu people are the pinnacle of humanity. Nah, they're the recess of humanity. They the fucking the albinism. When the gene's going backwards, now it's recessive. So they are the recessive gene. Like the white lion, out of all the lions, they're the recessive lions. That means all them lions that are white, they got health problems. They got heart conditions. They don't live as long. They're more violent. They're unstable. They're not the full ticket. Their fucking genes is at the end. It's recessed. If I get a white giraffe, oh, look how beautiful this white giraffe is, because the world's so into this white supremacy. They wouldn't say the same if the giraffe was all black. But, yo, white lion, white thing, they don't even understand this shit is sick. But if I say, okay, a black panther, that's just a leopard that's menelated. Yeah, so he's not sick. He's got an abundance. It's not a deficiency. Whereas if the animal's white, albino, that's a deficiency. That animal, that white pigeon or that white tiger or that white alligator is sick. There's a deficiency. The genes are recessive. The black panther's not recessive. He's got so much melanin, his spots is just not spots no more. The whole of him's fucking black. Like one spot the size of the whole fucking skin. You understand? It's a leopard that's menelated. Or a black jaguar or whatever. Do you see what I'm saying? So that's why the fear of their genetic annihilation and the truth of who and what they are as the cursed son of Ham. And that just means the people who came out of black people, Ham, Cam, Kem. Same word if you speak in Egyptian or Semitic languages, which is Arabic and Hebrew, Aramic, yeah? Them languages, all of them, Egyptian, Aramic, which is Hebrew, and Ashuric Arabic, yeah? Today's Arabic, all of them, Ham means black, Cam, Ham, Kem. Really, it's Cam with a K, or Kem, yeah? As like you say Al-Kam, Egypt, or you say Kemet, Egypt. You understand what I'm saying? They made it associated with pig, like they like to diss our shit. Oh, Ham, yeah, the pork people, the pig people. Yeah, these are cursed. And if you really took the time to read Genesis, there's no part in Genesis where Ham is cursed. It's Canaan who's cursed. And when they say Canaan in Genesis 9:25, you're talking about one family of the Phoenicians. Because when they say Canaan came out of Cush, came out of Utnapishtim and the sons of Ham, Canaan came out of Ham, which means Canaan came out of Kemet, Ethiopia, the Nile Valley, Egypt. So what it's saying is these Phoenicians or Canaanites, They are the sons of Egypt. They're black people who came out of the Nile Valley and went into the Levant. And they became known as Phoenicians, and they became the traders and sailing the seas and going around the whole globe and mapping the globe and shit. And they had the trading in the purples and stuff. Now, one of them families of the Phoenicians came out a leper. This geezer came out named Canaan. Yeah, that's what they tell you in the Bible, Canaan, to confuse you. But that wasn't his name. Canaan is a title. It means lowlander. So the people in the cave people, they called him, yo, he's the people that's not from the cave. He came from down there. He came from the fucking them black folk, but he ain't got no melanin. He looked like us. He still got the African features, but he like a ghost like us. So anyway, just to separate him from us, we, the Neanderthals, we're going to call him Libana. Libana, today you say is the word Lebanon, because that's really where it all happened, in Mount Seir, which is when you come out the Caucasus Mountains and come through the Black Sea and come down into the Levant, into Israel, you can come through the Mount Seir, which is the mountains in Lebanon. You understand? So Lebanon was named after him. Lebanon is from the word Libana, which was his real name, the real name of Canaan. Canaan was the name of the whole land. Yeah, Phoenicia, Canaan. You understand? Black people, the first Phoenicians, Ethiopians, black folks. You understand what I'm saying? The Phoenician language was an Ethiopian, Egyptian kind of hybrid language, which later spawned off into Hebrew and fucking Greek with the phonetic Greek alphabet and shit like that. If you do your study, you'll confirm what I'm saying. So it's just saying that they came out of black people, but one of them families was born as a leper, and he comes from the family of who the Bible's calling Noah. So Noah's son Ham, or Kemet, yeah, had sons, and one of his sons, the fourth one, was cursed with this leprosy, and his name was Libana, or who they call in the Bible Canaan. Genesis 9:25. He was cursed to be a slave to his brothers, which is the black people, which is Shem and Japheth and Ham. He's gonna be a fucking slave to everyone. You're the cursed person with no melanin. The sun hasn't kissed you. Like, you got dead genetics, dead skin. Do you understand? And so from these lepers, when they came through Mount Seir, they came as the Khazars and the Ashkenaz. Today you call them Ashkenazim or Zionists. Yeah, and they're Jacob's children. The mad scientist Jacob, who was 2,800 years before the birth of Canaan. All the fuckery he was doing, I give this story before, and I post it in my forum and shit. Yeah, when they say Jacob, the English way of saying Jacob is Jacob. So when they give you all this Abraham, Jacob, Esau stuff, they're really talking about Jacob. Jacob is their Jacob. That's why in the Bible it says God's angel came down and wrestled with this fucking prophet. He wasn't a prophet. They're actually in that part telling you about Jacob, not Jacob. They're talking about Jacob. That's their father. They're the children of Jacob, these Ashkenaz, these fucking Khazars, which is the grafted people. When you go into the story of Jacob. Yeah. So like I say, they came through Mount Seir, Lebanon, which equals Lebana or Libana, which means milky white. So because he was born an albino, they give him the name Libana, milky white, and the title is Canaan, meaning, oh, he's from them Phoenicians down there, them black folk down there. He came out, he's an albino geezer. Canaan, the Libana, the milky white. Today we say Lebanon. Yeah. So he had dead skin, or what you call melanoma. That's one of the worst forms of fucking skin cancer. 1 out of 7, like Mzungu in Australia, will develop some form of skin cancer. Around the world, loads of Mzungu get some form of skin cancer. But the worst form is melanoma. And it hits the Australians hard, being that they out there in fucking Australia. You understand? But all of this, these Khazars and Ashkenaz, they settled down and became what you call the Hellenics, or the Greek and the Greco-Romans. You understand? These people are the same people, these fucking Khazars and Ashkenaz, and then they start mixing in again at another time with Esau, when he mixed his genes with these cave people, these Hittites and stuff, and they start producing what you call Edomites, which is the Romans. Do you understand? All these people in the Bible are still here today. Most of them are still here, but the modern world changed everyone's name. So you can't really relate people if you ain't got the keys. You don't know, oh, Iran, that's Iran. That's them Mzungu from Iran that was running down in Kemet and fighting us, okay. And when I say Anatolia, okay, that's you Turkish niggas. So you Turkish Ottoman niggas, you was running up here and trying to fight us too. And you started identifying these niggas. Okay, Lebanon, you who's coming down here. Balkans, Germans, French, Vikings, all of y'all niggas was trying to fight us. So as the scriptures, whether Bible, Quran, Torah, Medunetta, They tell you about these nations and how all the nature of these nations and how throughout all their generations, this is how they're going to be. They're not going to change. That's how they're going to be. How they was then is how they are now. So now they change the names. So you can't say, okay, which one is Canaan's 11 sons? Which white people are they today? Because there's no Girgashites or Jebusites. The Jebusites, that's another name for these Ashkenaz, certain groups of them, Jebusites. Okay, Sephardic Jews, Jebusites, bastard, them ones in Israel today. Yeah, and you say things like Amorites. Okay, so that's the English, which means it's also the fucking Americans and the Australians. So these are Amorites from the son Amor. You say Turkey. Okay, these Turkish man today, these Muslim Turkish Muslim man. Okay, so these are from Heth. These are from Hittites. So you can start identifying who's who, and the same nature that they had in the scriptures, they have that same nature today. I guarantee you. Do the research. Don't believe me. Yeah, and these Hellenic people are people that are scared of the sun. They're not children of the sun like us, so they're scared of the sun. And when you say scared of the sun, that means scared of fire. So they make up this concept of hell. Hell, being burnt in hell, being burnt, sunburnt, burning, hell. This is where they get it from, because they're scared of the sun. These are lunar people, these are Hellenics. They burn up in the sun, they get melanoma and shit. They turn into looking like lobsters and shit, their skin's all peeling and stuff. So they were also scared of us as people. And it was like a fear and a veneration of us as sun people. Bastard, they're the people that can stand up in this sun. They don't even burn up in this hell. They can survive hell and shit. Yeah? So this afro became the early nimbus. That's just the mantle that's around the head. The mantle around the head, or the halo, first was called the nimbus. And that came from the afro of the people of the sun, like I've told you on a couple of occasions before. You understand? Nimbus, halo, same. And this is where they get their worship from, with the heliocentrism like that they do in Catholicism and somewhere. They're really worshipping the sun and they're worshipping us, our people, but they just whited them out to fool you. When they go in the dark and they go behind in their back room, they praying to black women, the black Madonna and shit. They're not doing what you doing out here with these white Jesus and shit. Nigga, they got their real colour. So these people, man, it's unnatural, and that's why they don't have a connection with the sun. Do you understand? Because they are a effect. They're not something that was the sun was meant to create. They came through a mutation, and people think you're racist when you make this point out after having 500 years of being called a monkey. Do you see what I'm saying? And you can confirm this sun worship in Psalms 84:11. Read that for yourself, Psalms 84:11, where they admit they worship the sun, mate. Now, going back to modern times, it's been predicted on the news I seen yesterday that by the sorry, not the news, it's been predicted on one of my circuits, yeah, that by the end of this year we'll see temperatures reaching 168. Sorry, by 2030 we'll see temperatures reaching 168 on Earth. And make note that places like Death Valley in America, their top temperature ever, which is the hottest temperature ever being recorded on the surface of the planet, is in the 130s. It's about 130 or just above 130, like 132 or something. Yeah, they have predicted now, these Muzungu experts, that bastard, we're looking at 168 degrees soon on the Earth, that means water's dried out. And as I said, there'll be certain landmass changes. I wrote these notes yesterday early. I've had this page written like this for about 2 days. Yesterday, chilling with the missus, I've seen it come on Channel 4 News that, okay, there's threat of floods now. And I said to my missus, you know, this heat that's come, this tipping point, how hot it was. Watch for them to say there's going to be floods and certain places are going underwater. And this flood season is going to be dread because the amount of ice that's melted in these last couple of weeks where we've had this fucked up heat all over the surface of the earth. Imagine the ice in the ice caps, how that's fucking melted right now. Do you understand what I'm saying? It's fucking peak. So that means, so in England, we've already had the warning. Yo, the sea level is rapidly rising by how muchy every year. It's fucking gone into overdrive right now. The climate's no longer going to change. It's already changed. That's how they've dropped it on this. Fly over to America. New York's had the same shit. Bastard, we've got fucking flood warnings now in New York and all these coastal cities and shit. Yo, look for the sea level to rise rapidly. And certain like East Coast America, that shit's going underwater. West Coast America, that shit's going underwater. Where Jedef Ray is now, this shit's like a sinking boat. This England shit, this shit's going back on the fucking water where it's just be swamps left here. This shit's for real. And I've been telling niggas this for a long time. It didn't make sense back then because people refused. They just made it go over their fucking head. But right now, if you look at what's going on and what I'm saying, you can make the sense out of it yourself. You don't got to believe nothing. You can go and take it further and research all these points that I've given you. Do you understand? And so this links to why they're building bunkers and domes and space fleets too, because they got more than one option. Either we're going to leave the planet and go and find another planet, or either we're going to plan B, we're going to go inside the planet in our bunkers and shit, or we're going to find a way to block this fucking sun. So they got different ones of them on these projects. So it's even the bunkers and stuff come into that too. Soon they're going to have to get off the surface. They ain't going to be out here in no 168 degrees dead. Right? All of them will catch fucking skin cancer. They'll be dead. Yeah, and I would like to say some of us will be able to be out here. Don't get it twisted. We can live in some extremely hot conditions if you're aligned. If you're not aligned, you're gonna have the same problems more or less that the Mzungu is gonna fucking have, and it's gonna be peak for you if you're not aligned. Yeah, they only care about the 1%. Yeah, and that's why they have to change into this bunker society, digital society, robot society, AI, 5G system, because they going underground. They coming off the surface by 2030 in their plans. We know by 2030 we getting rid of these niggas. It's game over. But they in their scheme, they say, okay, 2030 we got to be off the surface. We got to have colonized Mars and started a breakaway colony on the moon or some fucking where else. So we got to get out of this dome. We're gonna find a way. We're gonna work with these reptilians so they can take us in their ships or whatever they fucking do, man. Do you understand? And the media is lying to us. They never gonna tell us this because, like I said, they gotta keep it in between what we learned at school. They can't put us in that panic mode. So they planning for themselves. They planning for their own families and 1%. They not telling us. Do you understand? And as it says in the, if you've seen the man who fell to earth on Amazon and wherever else it's showing, they was telling you in that by 2030 it's peak. It's gonna be so hot, y'all niggas can't live on the surface, and it's gonna be so hot, your world will just crumble in the next couple of decades because the water is just evaporating. The whole shit just falls down like dominoes, and it'll be fucked up in a couple decades. So literally 2050, and we've been telling people by 2043 it's over. The Anunnaki will leave with or without you, and now they're telling you this in these movies. Yo, 2050 is basically over. You understand what I'm saying? So they know what's coming with the black hole and the star holocaust and the melting ice. They just can't tell. They're not allowed to go outside the parameters of what they taught you in their bullshit educational system, their dictation, their edited dictation. They're not going to mention that most of the changes happening to the planet is natural, and a lot of them is due to the approach of Nibiru. And then the last small percent is due to the greenhouse effect and what man's doing down here. That's not really as big a deal as what they're making out to you. They're using it just to monetize it, so they can say, okay, we need wind farms. We need 20 wind turbines. One wind turbine's 4 million. So somebody's gonna make 4 million times 20. Yeah, 4 times 20 is 80. So they're gonna make 80 million. This is a contract. Yo, we're giving it to Germany. 80 million turbines here, turbines there. Solar panels here, solar panels there. They're monetizing it. Just like now with the medicine thing, they're monetizing it. Yo, we need to wipe out a certain amount of. Let's monetize it. Yo, everybody's got to take these things, and yo, we give you a contract, you a contract, you a contract. AstraZeneca, fucking Johnson and Johnson, Sputnik. All there's money being made here. They monetizing death. They monetizing sickness. They monetizing the fucking planet heating up and giving you all these fake narratives. Yeah. And we still out here dealing with, like I said, the land changes that are coming, melting ice, changing land masses, coasts going underwater, earthquakes, fucking tectonic shifts, fucking earth crust displacement. Do you know what I'm saying here? If you study up these things, yeah, volcanoes, hyperfloods, superstorms, yo, it's all going off. We got HARP frying the fucking sky with lasers. We got CERN. You understand? They playing all this shit down, distracting us with all this celebrity fuckery. Yeah, we got all these executive orders that were passed between the terms of Barack Obama, President Trump, and Joe Biden. We had more executive orders signed in than the last 30 fucking presidents, and they're all to do with travel, ports, fuel and energy, housing, farming, national security and emergencies, locking people down, protesting, rights to protest, right of homeschooling they're trying to take away. Yeah, trying to take away people's right to live off the grid. You understand what I'm saying? They come in at us, they came at all, they're not doing this. They already done it while they distracted you with all this fucking lockdown shit. They was out signing off all these executive orders. So now Bill Gates and them can be buying up all the farming land. They can be shutting down the food fucking chain because they passed these executive orders while we was all fucking like this. The deer in the headlights staring at the story on the news. Yeah? We didn't understand this is bullshit. We need to look the other way. Why are they passing all these executive orders? I did it. Maybe that's why the ancestors told me, yo, you got to write this book because everybody looking over there. Jadefre, we know you ain't a doctor, but neither is Bill Gates. And we need you to look over here and talk about these executive orders that they're signing because all this shit's going to fucking come into play. Like I said, if I was selling snake oil, I wouldn't still be selling these fucking books. They would have exposed, man. You understand? But these books defend themselves. I don't need to defend them. I know what I'm here for. So they passed all these executive orders and shit, man, to cut off all the fucking thing, man. And then they started just like the same, like we're getting bombarded with solar particles. We're getting bombarded by the media. We got media bombardment, overstimulation, yeah, sexualization and sex addiction. Do you understand? We got all this political circus going on that nobody really cares about, but they keep pushing it. Boris, Richie now replacing it. Liz Truss, this diversion, this Hegelian shit. Climate hoax, cloud seeding. You get me? Planting these fake corals. You get me? Industrialization, cars, but they're blaming us for this carbon footprint. Nigga, we are carbon. Yeah? They chose the economy over the ecosystem, over the environment in the 60s or 70s. Yeah? Now we got all of this fucking crazy shit going on. Yeah? We don't even know if it's created, what part of it's created, and what part of it's Mother Nature. We just have to fucking roll with the punches on that one. Do you understand what I'm saying? But you better get in alignment so you're not in the wrong place at the wrong time making the wrong decisions, man. Because there's so much going on and there's so much snake oil and misinformation. Don't let yourself get lost out here listening to motherfuckers. Yeah? And fuck religion. That's all I got to say. Now I'm going to go and eat my food. Feel free to leave a comment or whatever you want to leave on the live. I hope this live wasn't too long and I hope it's something that reassures you in this fucked up time that we're going through of how unstable humans seem to be. General humans, family, friends, people around you and shit, man. Stay the fuck awake, man. Fuck woke. Peace. That's the end of the transmission. Namaste.